Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, you know what we have to talk about, or do you? Protect your assets, ladies and gentlemen, from who? The government. That's right, bad signs are here. Don't fall for their tricks. What are their tricks? All-time record highs. It's an illusion, but we're going to take advantage of it because underneath our feet, it's crumbling. New numbers come out today for durable goods order. We'll get into that. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now more than ever, please share the videos because you never know who's out here that needs help, needs this information, because it looks like it's going great if you think the stock market actually demonstrate what the main street is doing, which it is not. Everyday individuals, if you're not in the corporate world reaping the benefits from those stock options or the stock itself, then you are getting left behind. And it's very easy with the numbers. You guys know the numbers. The top 10% of the wealthiest own 93% of the stocks. So don't let it fool you. These tricks are happening right before our eyes, and somebody is winning handily monetarily. And you, some of you, are joining the party. So I want to make sure you guys are here. Make sure your comments are down in the comments section. Make sure you share the video. Smash that like button if you like what I'm talking about and what our group of individuals who participate are going to also talk about. Once again, don't let them fool you. The government is not your friend. There's the roaring 20s. Just picture we're in the roaring 20s right now. Stock market's going up. People are happy. It makes no sense how you can have higher cost due to tariffs. How our dollar currency has declined 10%. Making no sense. Stocks going up all-time record highs on 1 and 2 of the indexes, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 this week. And we have more tariffs coming first and reciprocal tariffs from other countries. But yet, the stock market is still rising. The Federal Reserve hasn't done anything. They haven't reduced interest rates to spur the economy. No. They can't do that because inflation is 2.9% if you don't count food and energy. Add another 3% on top of that. Now you get around 7.7% when you add food and energy. But of course, the government doesn't want to tell you that part. They want to only tell you minus food and energy, 2.9% inflation year over year. July 2024 through July 2025. They're tricking us, ladies and gentlemen. But don't worry, we're all here for the tricks because we're going to participate. That's why you have bought stocks. That's why you have some crypto. That's why you have a little bit of gold and silver and precious metals. That's why you have all of these assets because they're going to become toxic assets once there's an implosion. Implosion's going to occur, just a matter of when. Is it 2 years? That's why you need to get 1 year and 5 months as your schedule to get everything right. Again, 775 credit score plus. You're going to need that December 2026, that is your target date. Your debt reduced down to nil, target date. And you're going to have a bank account and offshore business or real estate or some ties to another country outside of the country that you live in. It does not matter if you're watching from outside the United States because Canada is in the same bowl as us, except it's worse there. More of their citizens, percentage wise, are paycheck to paycheck than here in America. So the top two economic powers on the North American continent, their citizens are barely hanging on. They're being tricked, seeing stock markets go higher and higher, even though 80 to 85%, when you combine both, it's 85% of Canadians live paycheck to paycheck during the month, and 80% of Americans live paycheck to during the month. That doesn't leave much breathing room. It's being closed off. And you know what else happened? Can you believe housing prices actually increased year over year? How? Interest rates are all time record high. 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, I know how. The other bad sign. All of a sudden, there's an uptick in foreclosures. And there's an uptick on foreclosures that started, get this, 2022, 2023. That's right, new buyers. You want to know why the new buyers are having a hard time? They don't have a 2.6 interest rate. They don't have a 3.5 interest rate. They have a 6%, 7%, even an 8% interest rate. And then when the word that insurance says, sure, your insurance in 2022, it was only $2,000 a year. But a lot of people are now getting, you know what? Your new premium. And oh, by the way, ring, ring from your mortgage company saying, I'm sorry, your account is underfunded for the additional insurance cost because the insurance went up and a lot of people pay it through their mortgage escrow, and they're getting notifications that it's no longer $300 per month for your insurance portion. It's now $550 a month. They're like, wait a minute, I'm already my payment already went up last year a little bit. Now you're saying I owe another 300 on top of that? Yes. They're like, I'm paying like $800 more than I originally had 3 years ago. I can't afford that. So now you have all the signs starting to crumble. All-time credit card high because some people are being able to do sliding their credit cards for food, for their housing, for their bills. And then there's even more pressure being applied, not just the insurances, but then if you own property, now all of a sudden they said your property taxes are higher. So now that's putting pressure on individuals. Doesn't matter if you own free and clear or you have a mortgage. Either way, costs have increased. Never mind when we go to the grocery store. Come on. Your energy bills are getting a lot higher because of that summer price increase, right? Don't let them fool you because you live in this real world. The stock market is an entity, just like a corporation. Those are entities. You make sure you invest in stocks. Again, I'll repeat, you have to invest in stocks because this wave is going to go off. You want to know what other signs there are? You guys, let me give you a little hint of some things. You see all these corporations that they're being valued at a certain number based on potential future earnings, is what they're doing nowadays, right? So I'll use, for instance, Nvidia. I'll use AMD. I'll use Facebook. I'll use Amazon. I'll use Microsoft. All these people are in the AI space, right? So let me ask you, I'll ask you if you're running a business. Let me ask you something. A lot of you run your business. A lot of you are the CEOs of my life. Yes, you can get this gear. You know where it's stopstrugglingnow.com. But you know when you run a business, what happens? You go, this is how much we made. This is how much we can spend. So it our employees, our cost of goods and services, and whatever we have left over, we use as profit. We get to potentially pocket or do some sort of reinvestment into the business. And then you would say at the end of the year, okay, our business made $500,000 this year. I had $250,000 worth of expenses with employees, and we have some profit over. The problem we have right now is business is not being conducted like that for these evaluations on the stock market. What if I told you something crazy as this? What if somebody told you they have a business and they said, hey, you know what? We sell stocks. We we borrowed $1 trillion for our business. What would you say after they told you we borrowed $1 trillion? One, two, or three, first three, one, two, or three, one of those first one, two, or three questions is going to be, you're able to borrow $1 trillion. How much do you guys make? Because in order to borrow $1 trillion, you would think they might make a few $1 trillion, right? I mean, we could go the old fashioned way and say we borrowed $1 million and we had to show that we make 300 million, right? You guys know what $1 trillion is, right? So we will say we made 300 million. Sorry, 300 billion. Sorry, all right? $1 trillion is 1 million billion-dollar duffel bags of cash. So we make 30 some percent. So we had to give them $300 million, right? In order to get the $1 trillion loan, right? So normal. You guys are with me, I hope, because that would be normal. If I want to borrow something and I have an investment, I want to get a building, which is an investment, which is a company, a corporation, I have to give them 25% down, right? So 250 billion, 300 billion. You say, of course, Eric, that means you're making money. You have skin in the game. Here's what we're doing now. NVIDIA, chip companies and all that, they're getting over trillions of dollars on investment. Now, will somebody ask the magic question? How much do these companies actually make? What if I told you it's not even $100 billion, not even $50 billion, but all these companies in the AI space, their evaluations are in the trillions that they have received from investors. Do you see a problem? I'm hoping you see a problem here. Because if I'm giving you trillions of dollars and all you're going to give me back is 40 billion, that's it? That's your revenues? I think somebody's overvalued. I think there's going to be a problem. So again, I'm with the smoke and mirrors, but you guys have to understand, sooner or later, there's going to be a big ass drop off because there is no way they're going to be doing trillions of dollars of profit. I said trillions, not billions, trillions. They can do billions, yes. Combined, I don't think they can do trillions. They're nowhere near that. They have, oh, I don't know, about 950 more billion-dollar stacks of cash. Where are they going to get that from? Where are they going to get that profit from, ladies and gentlemen? AI doesn't produce anything. What? What are you going to do? They're going to sit there and do ads and what? Okay, great. What are they going to do? Just about that. I'm just giving you guys the fair. But in the meantime, we're going to take advantage. Yes, we're going to buy NVIDIA, AMD. We're going to enjoy this free ride as they buy back their shares of stock, right? You guys understand that. I know the guys who are here understand buying back shares of stock. Yes, NVIDIA committed to $3 billion worth of they're buying back their shares of stock over 3 years, which started last year. So their stock price increasing? Yeah, what a surprise. All the rest are doing it as well. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that's how they're fooling you. One of the ways, the tricks. Don't fall for it, but we're here for it because you got 1 year and 5 months that you need to invest and go along for the ride. Now, I can't tell you when to get off the merry-go-round. All I can do is just tell you there will be a ride and you can't sit idly by. And some people have already lost between April 5th or 7th. I'll give you because we were here talking about it. We NVIDIA at 90, at 88, at $87 just in the first part of April. You had an opportunity to get it. Now it's at 170, 173 or something. AMD, similar type of thing, under 100. Now it's at 160, 155, whatever. This is exactly how the tricks work. But guess who benefited? Those people that were here in this house. You get to win because about it. You don't mind making a $90, $95 investment and it's now 175 within a few months or 160 within a few months. You'll take that all day, every day. And knowing that the analysts are saying that's going to go another 50 to $80 higher, and that's across the board, AMD and NVIDIA and a few others. Palantir, all-time record highs as well. A few short months ago, you could have just doubled your money with them. And they have government grants now backing them. They're in the Defense Department, the Pentagon. They're getting all kinds of money for surveillance on United States citizens and around the world. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to let you guys get caught within the bag. We want to cash out eventually at some point and then watch it drop. And then we do what the big boys do. We pick it up when the pieces have crumbled. But you got to have it to begin with. So enjoy the ride. 1 year, 5 months, get your stuff in order. Post-retirement travel. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And Mr. Worldwide is here. He says his tagline this evening. Hello, let's do this. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure we get you straight because we need you to protect your assets by getting assets. We can't let you sit out here while this gravy train is going to drive to the top of the mountain and then it's going to go off the rails. We want you to exit while gaining 30, 40, 50, 100, 150, 200% return or more. It's here now happening right underneath your feet, right before your very eyes. All right, EV Place, another investor, just like post-retirement travel, in the real estate game, in the stock market game, in the whatever game, business games, all the way around. The CEOs of their life. Here's EV Place. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. And he tagline this evening, good evening, everyone. It's Friday and we are making money in here. You're damn right. I didn't get any notifications. I don't even know what happened. I didn't get notifications today. I can't even do the salsa dance right now. This is crazy. Nothing. No, nothing. What's happening? No notifications. I see they done changed up. It's no problem because we know I know on my, hold on a second. Let me go see. Did I get any, let me see. Hold on. Did I get any notifications? Check out the other one too. No notifications. What's happening? Oh, wait. Hold on. Maybe. Oh, wait. What's today? Yeah, no notifications. I can't even do the salsa dance tonight. No Max ETF weekly payouts. No Max ETFs. Nothing. No notifications. What's happening? But EV Place, welcome. Thank you so much, man. Glad you're here this evening. Look what else we have. Stock market's on fire, aka on fuego. And get on the train or you won't make it. Tired of winning yet? No, we're never tired of winning. That's why we want you in the game, ladies and gentlemen. You got 1 year, 5 months for this nice little upward winning trend. After that, all bets are off. But you might as well get that profit while you can because all the magic markers are here. Tax breaks, money's going back to the rich guys. Rich guys, where do they put their money? In the stock market. Bingo. Businesses also are getting tax breaks. They have more money. What are they going to do? Buy back more shares of their stock. Bingo. Every sign is looking good. Jerome Powell, hey, I don't know what they should do because 2.9% year over year inflation should mean increase the Federal Reserve rate, not increase. I don't know what happened. I do know this. In May of 2026, Jerome Powell will be fired. His term is over. So I guess not really fired. But his term is up and Trump will appoint, unfortunately, it might be that Besant guy. Scary when the guy can't even do what tariffs do. Scary. Uh Scary. So that's going to be the day of reckoning because there is no way we can do 1%, 2%, 3% federal rates decrease. And all I can tell you is if they do that, you better have stocks, crypto, other assets. Because if you think inflation is crazy now, if they do crazy stuff like that, we will be into another type of inflation that we haven't seen in America, only third world countries, and the Great Depression. But you know what goes up in value during a hyperinflationary environment? Just saying. Could be stocks. I'm just saying. It could be a crash, but do we even want to be in that scenario? No, we don't. We want stabilization. Everything needs to be stabilized to keep creating a good winning strategy with the stock market. Now, just because there's UPS layoffs, Pepsi layoffs, plant in Detroit, Pepsi, yeeks, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people being laid off in the private sector. Eeks. Just because the PMI, which is the manufacturing index, is under 50, which means there's a contraction with manufacturing and jobs. We are now in early phases. All the signs are here that there's going to be a problem. And so, therefore, we have a president who announces something that should never be announced. I'm thinking about $3,600 stimulus checks for who? And I got to ask, a broke country, where are they going to get the money from for this? Taxpayers? You already gave tax cut tax breaks, so that's no you're not going to get any revenue from taxes in the trillions of dollars. So where are you going to get the money for this? I know, taxpayers, to increase inflation. He floated it, not saying he's going to do it, but you know how he is. He floats stuff and gets a reaction. He doesn't listen to the economists, so we know the odds of it occurring could be a little higher than if not. But the fact he's saying that, I'm just like, so you just put in $4 trillion that's going to be added to the deficit over the next 10 years, $700 million a year in interest only for this tax cut tax break. And now you're talking about deport centers, $608 million. I thought you were deporting people. What do you mean you're keeping them here now and costing us $600 million to build detention centers? Wait, I thought we were supposed to get rid of them so we don't have to pay for anything. I mean, what are you doing here? Again, the tricks, ladies and gentlemen, they're tricking you into believing that everything's going to be fine because the stock market is going fine, but you own the stock market. 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest. So that little sliver of 7% that we all share in, do you know how many people aren't in the stock market? A few hundred million, because they're living paycheck to paycheck. So think about it. All the signs are here, ladies and gentlemen. There's something happening that should not be happening. It can't keep going on any longer. So I want to know what you guys are thinking. If you have any comments about it, we're open for discussion. Brian P., Mr. Dividend is here. Very nice to see you today. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. And he says, happy day, Eric. Thank you. Happy day to you. I hope all is well with you. Hey, man, we're moving in a positive direction. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. I love to give it a one piece. Give it a one piece. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, as people are about to lose their Medicaid and Medicare and nursing home coverage and caregiver coverage, and people who take care of those individuals losing your jobs in the next year, another reason you need to invest in the stock market and get some additional revenues. Passive income is possible. There are dividends. Yield max ETFs, they have to be looked at. There's weekly payouts and there's monthly payouts, and they range anywhere from 20% up to 80, even some 100% distribution right now from the stock price you're going to buy it at. There will be fluctuations, but there's going to be fluctuations in the stock market, which is good for yield max ETF, option income trading ETFs, because trading in the options, we like volatility because that means lots of fees and premiums and lots of money's being exchanged because of all the multiple amounts of trades, which is a beautiful thing. And being able to get dividends every month from that, you could easily do something like $10,000 investment if you have it. Oh, there's some of you watching this that do have it. You have $10,000 into a combination of yield max ETFs like some NVIDIA, Apple, AMD, Microsoft, some of the Magnificent Sevens, and get some dividend plus appreciation growth stocks at the same time. A winning combination, and I'll just use a simple number. If you said 10,000 and somebody tells you you can get 50% annually, another 5 grand via dividends, hold up, I should be listening. You should be. That's what we're talking about. $400 per month that you can actually reinvest or pay bills. This is a once I shouldn't say really once in a lifetime, but this is unique circumstances. What normally would happen, just so everybody understands, the volatility is what creates these dividends. There's other companies that do it as well. Option income trading has become a staple in a lot of ETFs now. That's because they understand all this money that's being swapped by doing it. But just keep in mind, all of this comes back to haunt you if you're not in, because there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with the Joneses. So if you can get an extra three, four, five, $1,000 per month or more passively, you're going to come out way ahead later on. And then let me give you something else to think about. What happens if nothing goes wrong? I'm completely wrong, and everything stays good in an upward trajectory for 5 years. Now that I've given you that nice little idea, I will have to explain, if we don't have volatility, then those ETFs that trade on the uh, income on the options market, there won't be that many transactions. So it won't generate the same amount of fees. So then you'll have to earn it the old fashioned way, 10%, 8%, and hope there's no inflation. That's 8% or 10% or 15%. So either way, it's going to be dicey sometime down the road. And I don't think it's too far off personally. I 2 years off. That's why you have to get ready 1 year months. That's what you have. December 2026 is when you need to have your 775 credit score. You need to have stocks. I don't care about bonds, but if you want to buy 4.4% bonds, that's on you. Um, I personally would buy ET at 7%. Energy Transfer 7%. I mean, why mess around? I also, they're buying JEPI, which is a JP Morgan ETF, for 9% returns. JEPI and JEPQ. JEPQ is an 11% return right now. So why be at 4% or 5%? You have options. I mean, hell, you even have Pfizer, PFE, around 6.5%, maybe even 7 still. Again, pharmaceutical companies, uh, there's not going to be any deals. The government's not looking for price controls for pharmaceuticals. So they're still going to be making money. And by the way, there's some vaccines that came out that's very interesting. So, Brian P., very happy to see you again, man. And hopefully all's going well. I know you're doing the sauce at least on Monday. Too many bad news emails. I know, man. I know. I saw them. I saw them. Palantir is another beauty. Nvidia is a must have. Exactly. Those are, hey, Palantir's doubled. We talked about them, not just this year. We talked about them last year. So everybody should be winning. PLTY is dividend portion from YieldMax ETF is PLTY. So we've been enjoying a nice around 60 to 70% return from them, plus a price increase on that particular stock of around somewhere 5 to 10%. It fluctuates. But as long as you can get around 60% return and your stock price can stay almost the same, we'll take that all day, every day. 60% return. Yeah, hell yeah. If you PLT, no dividends, then you would have you would have did 100% on the stocks. But again, the stock would have had to be what, 60, 70, something like that per share. So 100 shares would be like 7 G's, and your 7 G's would be 14 G's over about a year, year and a half. Not bad. But you would have had to seen that back then, before they are who they are known to be now. You would have to be Nostradamus, an investor who does their research and study. We were here for it. All right, just letting you know. Just letting you know. Must have is correct. Those are must haves. Exactly. Exactly. Not yet, but they are coming. Yep. Exactly. No, haven't seen the Robinhood dividend notification. They normally drop it around 9 p.m. I'm getting anxious. Me too, man. That's why I said, hold on. I didn't get any notifications. Nothing. I'm like, what's happening here? This is scary. This is weird. Yeah, no notifications. This is a first. There was no day that I know about. So, yeah, it's always nice to know every Friday we would be doing the salsa dance, because then we could see for sure what our distributions are going to be. Then we can start doing calculations, because I've been doing reinvestments for a year. Now I'm going to get it in cash. Not all of them. Some are still going to do reinvestments, but I'm going to take a portion of cash and start sprinkling around to pick some other the existing dividend stocks separately and pick what I need to do, because I'm happy with where I'm sitting, where the dividends can buy more without me, kind of thing. So I just leave those on auto. Then I have others that don't. So I need to prop those up, so to speak, but I'm going to use other people's money, the dividend money. So then I get more shares that I'll be buying separately each time there's payouts, and we get payouts every week. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Yomax ETF. Um, yeah, I hear you. This is weird. That's right. Where is my rebate check? I need it for my Punta Cana trip. DIM Pals is here. Once again, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. Very happy to see you once again. Why do we have 1 year to go? DIM Pals, it's the SSN Nation number. We have more than 1 year, 5 months to go for the financial crisis incoming. But I need people here to be ahead of the curve. So I'm trying to get everybody ready by December 2026. And by ready means you'll still be winning. That means debt down to nil. So your credit score 775 or higher. Credit will be king after a credit crunch, because you'll be able to get deals of a lifetime. That's one of the reasons why. Also, you need to get as many stocks, assets that you can get, and you need to get the right stocks and stocks that are going to give you dividends, passive income, so you'll have extra money in your pocket when the 1 year and 5 months happens. So you can sit back and say, oh, hey, I got $1,000 per month coming in, or $500 a month coming in, or whatever, $200 a month coming in. That's better. And you have the stock itself still, and you didn't borrow against it. So from all metrics, doesn't matter what your metric is, I don't think you're going to mind whether you have 500, 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 a month. Passively, you're going to need it. So at least you have something else, because you don't know what the future is going to hold when it comes to working. Layoffs are already here, left and right. They just keep them quiet now. Like when you're laying off a whole plant in Detroit, the PepsiCo plant, I'm like, that would be newsworthy. I mean, when you're laying OPS drivers in the thousands because there's less packages being serviced from Amazon, now you have two big boy companies slowing down. Amazon slowing down, which in effect causes UPS to slow down. They're laying off people. UPS is laying off people. Amazon's laying off people. Less jobs. Now those people are employment, can't get jobs, don't have money, and they're already were living 80%. Not all, but a lot. 80% of the population, 8 out of 10 people working for these companies are living paycheck to paycheck. All it takes is half of your income gone, and now you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You're underwater. We're talking about thousands of people. This isn't like, oh yeah, it's 700 people. No, we're talking about millions. 1,000, 5,000 here, 3,000 there, 3,000 there. It ends up being millions. Mom and pop businesses that are going out of business because they can't order their products from outside the United States because tariffs going up 25%, 50%. So now their employees are going to be fired. They're losing their business. Now they're all in jeopardy. There's a snowball that's going on as we speak. But those people who have stock, gold, silver, precious metals, real estate, and they have real estate that generates income, they're in the catbird seat. And how else can you be in the catbird seat? Is having a bank account outside the United States. If you can have a business outside the United States, I would at least set up a business so you can always move that into a business entity. So then you're not in the USA banking system or environment and hoping that that other choice you made, they're not going to be dragged down with the United States economy when it does implode. All right. Hopefully that explains the DIM Powell's question of why we do 1 year, 5 months is premature. In reality, I give you a 6 month lead. So it's really 2 years. So as long as you can get to where you need to be in 5 months, that'll make it better off for you. Just in case, because you never know what's going to trigger because we have so much indecisions that are being made not for the betterment of the United States citizens, it's for the betterment of the top 10% of the United States investors. That's what we're dealing with right now. So as long as you understand that, then you know there's going to be something that's happened. Again, Powell will be removed. He's the chairman of the Federal Reserve, but the board of the Federal Reserve actually votes. So that's why this is so weird. What's going to happen is you can see it already where Trump's going to take out Powell. He's going to put in his own chairman, so to speak. The people, the board, let's just say they unanimously say, hey, we'll reduce the interest rate, but it's going to be 0.25, 25 basis point, as other people would say. But the chairman comes out and says, hey, we're going to reduce it 1.5 percentage points. That's where I believe this goes. And if you do something that asinine, you will see a bond market disappearance like no tomorrow from around the world. Things would start happening that hasn't happened in a long time. And you know what, who that affects? Us, because the prices that you see everywhere would increase overnight. If you don't think tariffs is enough, then you wait till some other crazy gyrations happen where the rest goes, we're not going to invest in the United States no more. You're a rogue nation. It's already started to happen. Our credit rating has already been downgraded. Moody's was the last one to hold out. So that's why our currency has been devalued by 10% in 6 months. So you can see where this is going, and you can't borrow your way out of it, ladies and gentlemen. Borrowing means you owe more debt, and we are broke. We have negative $1 trillion to address and $1.7 trillion of interest only payments to address. And we're broke. And we just gave tax cuts and tax breaks to the people that have the most money. to pay taxes on. Corporations as well, who should be paying taxes because earning money off the backs of their consumers and their employees. Just saying. All right, here we go. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, post-retirement travel says, come on, Robin Hood, where are my dividends? Someone need to wake up. We want to hear ping, 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 ping. Exactly, man. I want to hear it. Uh-oh, here we go. Hey, Eric, I sent a lot of emails just 20 minutes ago. Hey, man, I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to open them up. I already did a video that people don't like about Americans skipping their car payments. Another bad sign because and if they're skipping their car payment, that means they're spending all that money on the last remaining overhead of, where they live, their home, apartment. Um, and that's already going bad as well. We have an uptick in foreclosures. We have an uptick in pre-foreclosures. And there's a whole bunch of homes on real estate owned by that aren't even in the system as far as trackings and opportunity knocks all over the place. All right, let me see if I can log in. It's going to take me a minute to do this. So everyone, coffee maker, our premium blend coffee makers, Auntie Val and family, write this down. SSN Lifestyle, all caps, is the promo code. Where do you go to use it? Beachfront Java Coffee and Tea, beachfrontjava.com to be specific, and whole beans, fine ground, drip ground, and Keurig all on tap. But everybody knows it's where the beans are made that matters. Central America, South America, Africa, Indonesia, the best beans in the world. Yes. Bag to always stay fresh. Yes. Half-pound bag up to 5-pound bag. Check. And tea as well, ladies and gentlemen. Soothing for the soul. Iced tea, iced coffee. Doesn't matter what time of year, but go to beachfrontjava.com, use the promo code SSN Lifestyle, and receive a discount for life after your first order. That's right. After your first order. You heard me, ladies and gentlemen. So make an order, a small order, so you can get in the system and then wait a few days after you get your notification talking about we've shipped your order. Then you go back and order all the rest of the goodies that you wanted, because it's not just regular old coffee, ladies and gentlemen. It's blends, sweet blends of coffee, 20 different varieties of coffee. Tea, about 10 to 15. But you know what? Order at beachfrontjava.com. Use that promo code SSN Lifestyle and enjoy some of the best tasting coffee on the planet. Fireside brew. Campfire brew, I'm sorry, is one of my favorites because I like chocolate. Because I don't really like coffee that much, but I like it when it tastes somewhat like a little hint of chocolate in it. So that's my favorite one. Um, and I got another one. Wonder if I have the bag here. I should get it one Monday. But I got another one. I can't remember the name of it, but it has chocolate in it as well, which was a newer variety, something different. That one also is good. So that's pretty sweet. Down below in the description box, the first part of the equation from DIM Pals was why 1 year, 5 months? Because what did I say? 775 credit score is what the objective is. You have a year and almost still left. December 2026. Get it there. Some of you may be going, Eric, I need help. I need restructuring. Down below in the description box, I have Resolve Finance. Go hit up Tracy at Resolve Finance. That's the email address, TRACY at resolvefinance.com. And you can watch a video later when she came on live. But you can restructure your debt like the big boys. So you don't have to file bankruptcy. You don't have to default. You don't have to do anything. At the end of it, in the year and a half to 2 years, you'll have it where it says paid in full and give you a good rating. Unlike if you had to do some other things. So that means your credit score can get to where it needs to be, over 700s. She'll help you with that. That's what she does. She's part of the SSN Nation. So, look up Tracy. I put the link so people around in Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, all you guys can get the link. All right. So just keep that in mind. Oh, and yeah, he's gonna have me. I can't remember what I had to do last time. They changed up on me. They call it Outlook. Oh man, I messed up. They called it Outlook. That's why they called it Outlook. My login changed. All that difficulty I was having, it's because they changed it and then given. Well, they might have told me. I don't check my emails that often. Yeah, they changed it up. My entry points on now Outlook, which is crazy to me. Why you guys messing around with me like that? Crazy. All right, what else do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We have some more in the house. I'm doing some things behind the scenes right now because we're doing a live stream, and we can talk about anything. Even story nights are going to come up every Friday night. Story night. Okay. I haven't thought of a story yet. It usually just comes up. It just reminds me of some things where what happens during the week or something. So I am going to go check it out tomorrow. Larry, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. And she brings her tagline this evening saying simply, hello, all. Hello to you. Very happy to see you once again. Hopefully, all's going well on your side of the world. Joe Nay also in the house. He's sitting over there, island time. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. Another investors in the house. He says, what's good, everybody? Hey, you here, we're here. It's good. How is everybody doing this evening? Well, the SSN Nation's in the house, and he says he smashed that like button. That's right. He gave it a one piece as well. And again, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. It won't hurt you. It's all free to do that. All right, Resolve Finance. Tracy at Resolve Finance. I put a link down. Go talk to her. Let her know you're from the SSN Nation. All right. Don't forget. Here it is. You can see it on the screen. That's it right there. Go talk to her about restructuring your debt without having to file bankruptcy and getting your credit back in order faster in 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years, versus a long road through bankruptcy court. All right. That's simple. It's not rocket science. Act like you're a corporation. That's what the corporations do. They say, "Oh, hey, I love this interest only loan you gave me for 10 years, but we can't really pay back the principal. Can we get an extension?" And they usually go, "Sure, why not? You can give us an extra interest only payment for another 5 years," because they make money off the interest. The principal is backed by their asset. So either way, they're going to win. So, of course, they're going to extend the interest only payment. That's where they're making the money. Anyhow, all right. So they love that. So you can do the same similar reorganization plans without having to do the catastrophic bankruptcy. All right. If anybody comments about anything that I've said, please, it's an open conversation. Make sure you have your pen, pads, and papers ready because you never know what's going to happen there. All right. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can get. Oh, it looks like I might be able to log in direct. No, I can't log in direct. That's not going to happen. I'm gonna have some info coming up. So we're gonna pivot to Brian P's giving me some emails that's gonna come up, and they're horrific. Most of the time he gives me these things where there's some banker, some CEO, some person that works at the bank is, oh damn, this isn't working, been embezzling people's funds out of their accounts in the hundreds of millions, or 10 million or 30 million. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they're I mean, it's sickening. People that you entrust your money to, and they're stealing it. It's insane. All right, here we go. I got something pop. Oops, sheesh. Oh, I missed it. God dog it. What happened to it? Help. Help. Swipe down and refresh. Oh, no, 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 no. What happened? Oh, man. Come on. Jesus. Yeah, see, this is what I don't like about this. I have to oh wait, hold on. Hold on, hold on. No, it sent me something. Now it wants me to do some God, I hate this. What happened to the good old days where you can just log in? Swipe down to refresh content. This isn't gonna work. Oh wait, it might work. Wait. Oh, wait, it might work. Holy smokes. Approved. Yeah, it's approved. Oh man, come on. Oops. Okay. Oh, I got approved. Yippee, yippee, yippee. Oh, no, don't do that. All right. Woof. It used to be so simple. Oh, no, it's giving me a reboot. It used to be so simple then. All right. Let me know if there's anything new that you guys have noticed, or if there's anything that you guys think that I don't have correctly thought out about our future in the next few years. Let me know if there's any investment ideas that you have that may be helpful. Speaking of that, we had Mara. Mara is at $20. All right, so MARO is what I'm referring to. Um, Intel plan slash. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Intel has lost market share. They're literally a takeover. I think somebody's going to take them over. Intel plans to slash 25,000 jobs in 2025 as new CEO warns there are no more blank checks. Oh wow. Hmm. Yeah, Intel's bleeding. There goes another 25,000 nice paying jobs gone. Are you guys look, I know you guys here in the SSN Nation aren't oblivious because I talk about it all the time. What we're seeing in the stock market is because the top 10% own 90% of it, and they have their own way to manufacture, such as buyback stocks, as I've mentioned, tax cut, tax breaks, which they get their money back to replenish to buy more shares of stock. They also can sell their stock options, and then they buy a portion back of stocks. Um, those are all ways that the stock market will keep going higher, giving the illusion to everybody around the world that the economy is doing great. But as you guys know, as we keep talking about this, 25,000 Intel, another 10,000 between Pepsi and UPS, Amazon, there's 35,000 jobs gone just like that this year, for sure. Our durable goods is not went down 9.3%. So if you don't understand, if the previous month the goods that are being ordered are not being ordered, it dropped 9.3%. There's less orders being moved. So this tracks, right? This tracks with Amazon not getting the orders. It tracks within UPS going to Amazon to pick up the packages. They don't have to send hardly anybody there anymore. So they're like, we less people have to go, less packages being processed at both places mean less employees. Chain has an effect. This is what people don't understand. It's not just Intel fires or gonna fire slash 25,000 jobs. It's what comes next, because that means some part of the supply chain, people are going to lose their jobs because they're not going to be dealing with Intel anymore, right? So you see how it's an implosion occurring. It's a slow roll snowball coming downhill. That's why you have to be in with the top 10%. Whatever they're doing, if they crypto now, you got crypto now. If they're saying it's the stock market, you got stock market. And you always need gold and silver, because gold and silver, just a little bit of it, it trades around the world. So regardless of what happens in the economy in the US, gold and silver you can leave with and go to another country and say, hey, I need a few $1,000s worth of, I need to exchange this for a few $1,000s. See, it's very simple if you can carry it. So just saying. All right. So I'm not going to put it on board. I'm not going to put it on the screen. I'm just going to give you guys some of these reports. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. China releases U.S. debt. Geopolitical tensions. China gradual withdrawal reflects rising geopolitical tensions and concerns about the U.S. fiscal situation. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is what I was talking. Remember that bond market, ladies and gentlemen. Remember this. How does America print money out of thin air? When other countries or people buy United States bonds. What happens if they sell United States bonds? Okay, I'll explain. Okay. If I don't know how much they bought, but I'll just use a hypothetical. They bought $5 trillion worth of bonds. They get their 4% interest from those bonds every year, right? So that interest money has to be paid. $20 million, right? Or is it or is it no, it's is that two, what is that? Is that 2 trillion? No, 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 no. No, it's 20 million. It's gotta be. But anyhow, let's just say they get $20 million a year, right? Or is it no, it's more than that. It's $100 million because it's 4% on 5 trillion. I'll use 5 trillion. 40%. Okay, so it's got to be 1 trillion. All right. Anyhow, is that right? No, that's not right either. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get my mathematics right. Is that 100 million? It's got to be 100 billion. It's got to be like 100 billion, right? Yeah, it's got to be 100 billion. It's got to be something like that. Anyhow, they're getting their interest, but then they say, hey, I need my principal. I need you to send me $5.2 trillion back, selling them. But are you going to have any buyers? Potentially. What happens to our bond market, ladies and gentlemen? Because people are going to be afraid to buy US debt. So that means they're going to have to raise the bond price. Let's just say it's 4.3 now. All of a sudden, it's 4.5 for a 10-year or 4.7. We're printing money owing 4.7% or 4.6%. But we have to give them 5 trillion, and we already are going to be 41 trillion in debt. So explain. And if Japan also says, well, we're going to get rid of a few trillion of ours, which that would be foolish for them, but I'm just saying, if they did that, then we got to give them their trillions. Where are we going to get the money from? We're broke. So if the rest of the world starts believing that we can't actually fulfill our obligations and we're printing more money out of thin air, then they lose confidence in the United States market and we lose investors from outside of the US. And that would be a problem. All right. Discard my mathematical errors because my mind's thinking ahead, trying to figure out what, because I'm numbers, I'm seeing 7 trillion on here too, but I don't want to get into that. All right. So, yeah, we got a lot of things going. Um, I'm laughing because here's the headlines. Alarming reports warns that huge number of once valuable homes may soon be worthless. State of crises. A study has shown that destructive weather patterns are causing mass strain on the California home insurance market. According to the Insurance Newsnet, California has been battered by catastrophic weather. This is going to be countrywide. So all the people who said, don't listen to scientists, don't believe it. I know better. I'm keyboard. I'm the guy that studied mathematics, economics, went to law school or no school at all. I'm a plumber. But I know better than the scientist. Again, that's not a recipe for advancing anything. Not listen to the experts. I keep telling people all the time, if you don't know how to do any plumbing, then why the hell are you going to be opening up pipes, trying to get pipes and fix the plumbing? That'd be stupid. You don't know anything about HVAC, so you're really going to go down there and open up the HVAC system and act like you do? And you don't know nothing about weather and science, but you're going to act like you know better. The arrogance of people. And people saying you don't need to go to school, you don't need to know nothing. What's the big deal? The big deal because 50, 60, 70 years ago, science is already giving timelines saying, hey guys, just so you know, we have carbon emissions and it causes a greenhouse effect and it's going to make the planet heat up unnaturally. So you might want to consider doing something about it. And some people scoffed, as they do today, about solar green energy because saying the green energy uh, people that are against it, they're the ones that quickly go to, well, it how much oil and gas do you use to create this? But besides that point, once you create it, now you're producing less of the bad emissions. So you can wean yourself off of the existing amount of emissions that you're giving off. If you can reduce it, that's better than keeping it going without any alternative. Some people would say that's like asinine, no alternative, and you know you're causing the planet harm. But then again, we have people 2 or 3% people saying there's nothing's happening. So I'm going to ask you guys something. If there was 97% of experts that say something's going to happen and 3% said, oh, hell no, it ain't going to happen, and it was a matter of life and death, are you seriously going to tell me you're going to go with the 3% crowd? Seriously? What we're doing here on this planet, rolling with the 3% crowd. Not in all locations. I mean, like Denmark and Netherlands and Germany and those places, they're putting down solar panels. China on the ground, so they're already preparing for a future. They have bullet trains that run off on magnets that go just as fast as a plane. I mean, America doesn't. 3% crowd. Although America tries to do something, but then the 3% crowd says, oh, no, we can't do that. So now we're going to have homes being lost. You guys know homes are already underwater in Miami, right? You know that doesn't get enough coverage. There's already homes. When you go to South Beach, anybody beach lately? I want to know because when you're driving around South Beach, this is Miami. When you're driving around South Beach in Miami, next time you go and you're going on like I call it, it's not really the intercoastal, but you know what I'm talking about. There's the other side of the peninsula that's inland. Next time you're driving down through there and you're at a stoplight, listen to the sounds you hear. You know what you're going to hear? You're going to hear a generator. You'll hear it. That's because they're pumping water all through the peninsula. And what they're not telling you is there's some people's homes already 6, 7 inches underwater and they can't sell them. They're trying, but why the hell would some people be buying those homes? That's stupid. That's just for starters. All right. So just keep in mind when you are thinking about the future, there's going to be some other trigger points. Like, here's what should have happened is the United States should have been China. United States 20 years ago, 30 years ago, solar panels should have been production, should have been manufacturing in the United States for alternative energies. But instead, they balked, always, hemming and hawing, and China is now world's number one. And they also where they can ship to the island life where Joe Nay's hanging out at right now. And people there can get systems from China for a third of the price that we're being charged here in the United States. And they can have a backup system and they can cover 100% of the energy bill. So not only do they have solar, they also have storage at the same time. Yeah, we have the Tesla walls and little things like that, but you're not going to get 100% storage. I mean, 100% coverage during the day. That's one of the laws of allowing it, at least in California. So what if you pay 30, 40 grand for the panels? Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. We can't cover 100% to make your bill go away. By law, we can only do this footprint. I'm like, are you joking right now? Then what's the point? And what about storage? Oh, no, no, no. They're not allowing us to do that. I'm like, what the hell? So this is what we're dealing with here. So again, other reasons why you have to think about when you're investing out here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Options on ULTY is option. It's not options on ULTY. It's the option income, the distributions that they give us, the dividends they give us every week. ULTY gives out dividends. So they're doing the trading on the option market or whoever they're using. And the profits they receive, they send out to the stockholders of ULTY. And as of this date, what is ULTY doing? Why is that it? I know it's around it's got to be 60 to 80%. I just don't know exactly the distribution rate. Although, hold on a second. Can I oh yeah, I can look it up real quick because we can find out. Let me see if I can get my global. Yes, we have global. So the distribution rate, which is the dividend for the year, it's kind of weird. They kind of go by what happened. I think they go backwards. It's not a prediction. So ULTY, 85% distribution rate. And I believe that's over the last year. So there you have it. I think that's pretty cool. And then the ULTY has actually increased. The stock price has stayed around the same, increased $1.50 or something. So you're doing good. who's already invested in them. Once again, winning. I love it. Hope you're in, DIM. That'd be awesome. Come on, Robin Hood. Where are my dividends? Someone need to wake up. We want to hear the pin drop. Yes. Hey, Eric. A lot of emails. Already talked. Tamara saw that. Okay. So I have a few. Let's see. Okay. I have been buying options on ULTY and making cash. I like to hear this, DIM pals. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. On Moomoo, I saw where you can actually do options. It came up. I was in shock, quite frankly. I didn't think ETFs were doing options on the option market. That is crazy. I saw that too. That's pretty exciting. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Any project updates from DR? None. None. Um, it, I mean, okay, I shouldn't say none. There's nothing really to report. While you were away on your worldwide tour, R is mimicking what the United States is doing, and they're deciding to get rid of their workforce, Asian workforce, the immigrants, the migrants. So now projects can't be completed, and now their plans that they had with the developer told them, "Hey, man, I don't have employees, I can't do your project," which is what happened in the case of Seven Palms. So now they're going to have to wait on the developer that's presently creating a project, finish that, then come to this one. Well, that means there's going to be delays, right? Um, Larimar, which we have a lot of investors at, yeah, they keep marketing. They have done something. I don't know if you saw that. They've uh, kind of put up a foundation. I, I mean, it's not really a foundation, and I don't really know what it is. I mean, I do know what it is. It's going to be a foundation. They have, they do have the found. Okay, I'll just have to show you because this is, I can't. It's hard to describe because you have to understand they're going to put a cement platform down, so they already have the wires, the rebar, and all that down, and then it looks like they're bringing up some rebar and along the foundation, so it looks like they're going to build columns. I really can't tell because it's weird. So anyhow, they haven't gotten to that status yet. That's what it looks like. I thought I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll pull it up. I'll do it on the phone. Um, I got to give a shout out to Macron of France. I'm gonna have to give him a shout out because the man is taking over leadership potentially. France is going to recognize a Palestinian state. And they say that there's another 5 or 6 countries that are going to back it. Oh my. That would be interesting problem. Right? Right? That's going to be interesting. So I hope this is them. I hope this is them. It is. All right. Uh Here it is. Look at this. Look at this stuff right here that they're doing. Oh, yeah. See, got to show party like stuff. Oh, yeah. There's a pool there now, man. Yeah, the Origins pool thing. Yeah. In the middle of nowhere, there's a pool. Oh, oh wait, that's not the video. I'm pretty sure this is their party video. There's no buildings there, no structures after 2 years, 3 years. There you go. That's what I'm referring to. What you just saw. Oh, this is where they did the cement. See, the cement thing, which is a joke. Do we really care about who's bringing the cement in that they're going to pour? What company does this? Act like the cement mixer dudes are something special. Come on now. This weak ass marketing scheme is pathetic when you know what they're doing. They have to sell now townhouses, they're selling lots, they're selling Paradise, they're selling Breeze Towers because apparently Prime Towers are all sold out. Oh yeah, it looks sweet though. I gotta give them credit. Hey, it's gonna be built. I'm not gonna be mad about it. It's gonna be built, but it's not gonna be for another see me in 4 or 5 years. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find the other one. There's another video that I want to show you, but okay, hold on. I know what I'm gonna do. I actually have the video. Hold on. Videos. Here you go. Here we go. That one. See? You can see that I'm assuming that's going to be columns down there. And I really can't tell what this is because that looks like Tower 4. I mean 3. Tower 1 is up front, and then the one that's in the back. So I don't know what's going on. But either way, that looks like it's going to be the foundation columns, which is still weird because it's not really showing me what I need to see. I know there's a base down there. I needed to see something across. So we'll see how this all ends up. But hey, that's like last 3 weeks ago or something. So we'll talk about Larimar in 2028. Uh, um, well, if we're still alive, we'll see. No, there's no other fully. I mean, there's no real other updates. I wish. Uh, who was looking for a loan? Jaway J. Jaway J got his villa. He got I don't know. It's a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath villa, La Risapal, and he got unbelievable appraiser. First appraiser comes out and says 199,000. It's on the other side of Vista Cana on that new road that they built where Primavera 4 and Primavera 3 is on. And then while during the live stream, I said, well, how much are the 3 bedrooms? His came with the pool. How much are the 3 bedrooms and the second phase being sold for? He goes 256. I said, well then how are they how is Hazel below what they're selling the second phase for? And furthermore, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath with a pool. How is that 199K? They're not in. That's crazy. So then he got a second appraisal, and then it was in the 200s. I think it was 289 or 279 or something like that. Big difference. But again, it's DR. It's a new economy, right? New tourist slash investor economy. Banks aren't set up even after knowing 8 years ago that there's going to be all of this growth on the whole island, and people were going to be funding it and financing it with down payments, monthly payments, pre-construction. You would have thought the banks would have been ready to rock and roll with funding, everything in process, right? You would be like, the bank would have been, here's 5 appraisers we approve. You got to use one of them. Then they would have said, okay, this is what we need for title. There would have been a streamline, simple. But oh no, 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 they do nothing. It's crazy, crazy. So the banks, as Joe Nay knows, they're taking 3, 4, 5 months themselves just to do anything. You send them paperwork, then it's like, oh well, those people aren't here anymore, or they went on vacation. So send us the stuff again. Well, I sent it 2 weeks ago. Well, send us the stuff again. So then it's another week or two. Hey, you got the paperwork? I dropped it off. So what's going on? Oh yeah. You got to get your appraiser. Get in touch with the. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't come out for another week or two. Then they don't show up. This is what we're dealing with. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Knowing they have tens of thousands of properties coming online in the next even 5 years, and you're not already ready. Opportunities there for somebody, quite frankly. If somebody had money and you could, I don't know what the rules for starting lending or anything like that. There's a golden opportunity over there, quite frankly. Because if you don't need a bank and somebody's a private lender would gladly take 10%. That's what the banks are charging: 14, 12, 13%, 1 year, 8.5, for instance. And then a 10-year note adjustable for 12.5, 13.5, adjustable. Oof. I'm pretty sure that a private investor would be gladly give you 10.5% fixed, Aaron, give it to me every year. How long do you want this interest only for? I'll give you a balloon. You can give me 10% on it every year, 10.5 every year. Otherwise, you got to go to these crazy banks. Crazy news. It's all bad. Yeah, it's all bad. That's what I'm saying. It's crumbling right underneath our feet. Look at this. Trump is really asking people to Venmo to pay off the national debt. The Treasury has run this program for years, and people have donated 67.3 million since 1996. Oh, isn't that special? Isn't that so? As he gives tax cuts and tax breaks to the rich, this is too much for me. This is too much for me. Oh my God. Okay, so in 20 years, almost 67.3 million. Uh, this is almost like 1930 when they said, "Hey, give us your gold, give us your silver. We'll give you some of these funnies in return. Be patriotic. Come on." Patriotic Amazon accounts are under attack. Jesus Christ. Of course they are. Oh, what did I tell you guys? Foreclosure, another sign. Foreclosure auction volume rises 19% after VA moratorium expires. Oh, no. Foreclosure auction volume in the second quarter of 2025 increased 13% from the same period last year and reached a 2-year high point, according to auction.com. Newest auction market. Oh, my. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another sign. Well, we already know it goes hand in hand. If they're not going to pay, okay, the reason you don't pay your car note is because you have to pay your house note or your rent, right? So that's how this goes. So once you're not paying your car payments, the next assault is you got your premium, and the premium went up another $1,000 or $2,000 annually, which is another $300-400 a month that you have to pay. All of a sudden, that's in jeopardy. So your credit card, you're not paying. Your car payment, you're not paying. Now you can't pay your house. So along that whole supply chain, car makers are going to have a problem. Employees of cars are going to have a problem. Credit card companies are going to start laying off employees. They're going to have defaults. They're going to sell the paper, of course, to collection agencies so they get some of their money back. But there's still going to be a strain on credit because now there's going to be a credit crunch, freeze, a block. And that's why you guys are going to be perfect for the 775 credit score in 1 year, 5 months. You guys see, there's a method. We got you ready. We get you in the game. So yeah, that looks bad too. Of course, it's all going according to plan. But if you go by the stock market, you would never see this. Recall alert: 100,000 ice cream bars contaminated in 23 states. Throw away ASAP. Okay, okay. I don't eat ice cream bars. Neither should you. Okay, just saying. There's no reason to have ice cream bars. There's sugar and all that stuff and bad chemicals. Come on now. You guys, your health is going to be your wealth because it's going to be taken away if you have a episode at the doctor's, which are worth tens of thousands of dollars. There's no protection. And you know you'll be dropped as soon as you utilize it. So it's going to be very precarious situation for millions, 10% of the population. That's what we're dealing with here now. Hold on a second. Where's this at? I don't need. I got Intel already. Who's the other one? Oh, the recall. That's what I need, ladies and gentlemen. We need recall situations, right? We need recall. You know, I was thinking about. I told you guys before about a place up in Clear Lake, Riviera, and I just went to it the other day to see if what I told these guys in 2004, 5, to see what actually happened. Did it come to fruition? I told you guys part of the story for with the HOA when I was attempting to build my house there, and the HOA had a rule where the center line of a house has to be the roof line could only be 25 feet high, which okay, that's fine, but the city, the center line is 29 feet high, but because we're in an HOA, they made it 27 feet. My roof line from my center line is 1 foot. I needed 28 feet. So I went to go see HOA at the HOA meeting. You have to go there and plead your case. And then the architectural committee comes out. We go to the lot and we sit there and say, hey, look, can you give me that easement? So, and then I tell them, hey, but the city's like 29. If there was no HOA, I wouldn't even be here talking with you guys. So why aren't you going to approve this for a foot? And I told you guys this story before. It was Lake View. So this is why it mattered. I needed the extra foot because I needed a peak, so to speak, the design. You know what these guys pissed me off? They told me, I told you guys this story before, but I'll give you some more. They told me you're gonna be blocking your neighbor's view. I'm like, how is that? My lot slopes down to the road behind me. The lot behind me is downhill. They can't see the lake anyhow. And they pointed in the back, and I shit you not. I said, are you talking about them houses that's like a half a mile on the foothills back there? I said, I don't even think they can see the lake from there. Are you serious right now? They said, yes. We don't want to block their view. I said, no, I don't give a damn what you want. You go tell them to buy the lot up here in the front then. Oh, you don't have to be all like getting upset. I said, I'm getting upset because you guys are sitting here talking about a foot, and I'm going to be blocking some dudes that see the lake and they're half a mile back in the cheap section. Seriously? He's like, all right, well, we're going to go talk amongst ourselves. And at our next homeowners meeting, we're going to make a decision at that time. I'm like, so you're not going to make a decision right now? Okay. You guys saw my plans, right? You understand increase and improves the neighborhood. I'm making a house that's overpriced, so to speak, in this neighborhood. There's only like two other houses in here that would match this, and mine's going to be the most newest, modern, coolest, because it had decks on it. It's sick. I got approved from the building department, construction department in town. They said because I was going to have the limo, so to speak. I was going to have a. They were going to give me a 35-foot long garage, and because I can have a 35-foot long garage, about 12, I think it was 15, no, it wasn't 12. It was 15 feet wide. They allowed me to actually make a deck on top. And the deck on top, since it can come almost up to the road, we had a 20-foot easement, I think it was. At that 20-foot point, I can then flare out and now have a deck that could be like 30 feet by 30 feet and make a deck up there. And on the deck, you can see the lake. For starters, in the house, you can see the lake. But on the deck now is a play area. So I'm pissed. I'm like, are you serious right now? HOA. I go to the HOA meeting. I sit up there and I explain again to everybody because the owners are there too. And the architectural committee, we're gonna deny. I was like, did you? So now, of course, I start going off. I said, okay. I said, you guys understand what you're doing, that since I was going to actually create, me and two or three other people are creating homes in here that's going to be valued at $600,000-700,000. That means the neighborhood prices go up. So that's the first thing. So what you guys are doing is, anybody that wants to create some innovative project here, and we all have Ocean View, the three people we're talking about. One of the guys actually made his house was actually worth like 800 G's. My house was going to be in his, so quite frankly, my house would have been like $1 million. So I told them at the time, I said, okay, you guys are selling part of the golf course. So now we don't have our 18-hole golf course anymore. I said, now you're not letting people like me build these cool ass homes up here because of a foot, and you're sitting here acting like you're all great. I said, here's what's going to happen. You guys, by not allowing me to build, the place is still going to be the same. And you're going to downhill because we're losing the golf course. And now you sold off the our boat launch area, which had a snack bar, had a pool table, music could be played, the boat launch, everything. They sold that to a private party, similar to what Vistacana was talking about, doing dumbassery stuff about having third parties do it back in the day. Well, and then they came to there's like, oh damn, Eric's probably right. We shouldn't do it. You're damn right you shouldn't do it. So anyhow, that little section they sold, I told them, I said, so what's going to happen when we used to be able to go down to the boat launch area with that little restaurant, bar, snack bar, and bait shop, and now you're going to give it to another party because they're going to give us rent? That devalues our, we got to go pay down there now for the bus slips, more money. The food and everything we have is going to be more money. People off the street ain't going to want to come hang out here because they can just go down the street. There's a lake here. So anyhow, I went into my diatribe, but you know, what do I know? I'm just a young gun, right? These guys, they're like, no, I don't think you're going to be right. I said, here's what I'm going to be right about. How much you want to bet Dollar Tree or General Dollar Tree or the general store is going to be in this neighborhood in the next 10 years? They're like, no, our place is awesome. We got the clubhouse. We got Ocean View, Lake View at the clubhouse. I'm like, are you serious right now? The clubhouse isn't, it's got a pool, a restaurant. Yes, Ocean, Lake View. and a place where people get married because it has the ridge. I said, so what do you think that brings to the table? Who cares? We live around a lake. There's plenty of lake view properties and places people can get married and go eat and go drink. It's a big ass lake. What's so special about that? It's special when you live here or visit. I said, but now, since there's not going to be any improvement because nobody else is going to build anything, because now they're going to, well, I'll just keep my little $200,000 house. It's sufficient. Okay. Now you've kept your neighborhood down. There's not going to be any innovations because sooner or later the prices are going to go up and now people aren't going to be able to afford to build. So, what are you guys doing? So, now when I go, I just went to look yesterday, just so you guys know. I looked up at Clear Lake Riviera. You know, homes are after 20 years. Homes are still $200 to $350,000 as predicted. And what's that? The yellow store, General Dollar. Yeah, I think it's General Dollar. Guess what? It's in the shopping center that they were so proud of having the feed store there, the nice little grocery store. Yeah, yeah. The general store's there now. The other stores are gone. They don't have enough customers. So now it's just like what you would call a normal neighborhood going downhill. All because of decisions made in 2005, 2006, 2004, 2007 from keeping the guys that are investors from building those homes that would have brought up the neighborhood. Because I'm not the only one. They sued another guy because he actually went over the 27. He went up to 29. And they sued him, which now cost us as homeowners association members, cost us money. It's crazy, the decisions they were making. So this is one of the reasons why you have to pay attention to everything. You can't go with just because somebody says they're the authority. You have to get information on your own and understand the markets. Dominican Today paper under Bavaro and Punta Cana tab, the Constitutional Court put an end to the new Bavaro Airport. Yes, this is true, but that was never going to happen. That tells you how much power and influence the current Punta Cana airport owners have. That's correct. That's the Rainieri family. They're one of the 5 families that control everything in the DR. And by not and post retirement travel, this is exactly another example of why I believe Dominican Republic upside is not an upside anymore, so to speak. They're making all the wrong moves. This airport should have been built because it's closer to Michis. So now you would have been able to have people landing in Michis, landing at Punta Cana Airport, and now those developments that they have at Michis and beyond that are presently 45 minutes to an hour away, they would now be landing in their backyard. So now people would say, well, instead of going to Punta Cana, I'll go to the other one because I'm staying in Michis. I'll be 10 minutes away instead of 45 minutes to an hour away. And you would have been able to build other developments inland and down the coast, expand 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the other side of Michis. And that would have built up the whole area over there too. And build up area by Punta Cana on the other side towards Punta Cana, towards Macau, even though Macau's still going to be built up anyhow. So it would have brought the whole system of making money under one roof. So if you already have 60% of all the tourists are landing at Punta Cana Airport, and you make another 10,000 units over at Michis or 15,000 units, including condo hotels and condos, villas, you would not only have 60% landing at Punta Cana Airport, but another 3 or 4% or 5% landing at the other airport. You would be controlling damn near 70% of all traffic. But instead, they do this. And now you're going to have a strain on infrastructure because people are buying in Mishis. But now from the airport, you got a 45-minute to an hour ride to get to your spot, which again, a lot of people would say no big deal. But again, the further you're away, the less people stay. It's that simple. There's no metric that says if I pass the beaches, I'm going to go out here is going to rent or values increase. There's no metric that shows this. None. All right? It's simple, none. So I can give you plenty of examples. Waikiki. Waikiki was built 50, 60, 70 years ago. It became a hot spot. Because it became a hot spot, started getting, basically they have millions of people in Honolulu now. They had to build the airport 20, 30 minutes outside of town. But it was no big deal because all the hotels are freaking downtown Honolulu area. So therefore, sure, there's some stuff outside by the airport, past the airport, but the bulk of everything is in Honolulu, designed properly. So they don't sit there and say, well, we're going to have an airport on the other side of the island. There's not enough traffic. That's understandable. People don't mind a day trip around the island. It's small. But the point I'm trying to make is where you put your airports matter. Could you imagine taking up all of that valuable beachfront space airport where Honolulu is, and some dumbass would have said, oh, yeah, just put the airport right here. We don't plan on expanding Honolulu at all. That would have messed up the whole design. So some smart person said, no, man, take it 20 miles outside of town. We're going to develop all this stuff right here. We don't need you clogging all this up. Smart move. These guys over here, they should have added the airport. That would have got more people up on the other part of the part of the island. So now they had all the way from on the other side of Mishi's all the way to Cap Cana. One big, beautiful tourist destination. Everything you would want. But okay, people are still going to go up to Mishi's as it is. 65% of people landing in the island land at Punta Cana Airport. But now, how many people are going to leave and go out there? What's the percentage? What's the numbers going to be after they build all these hotels and condos and all that, villas? I think it's all bad. Eric is thinking electric. Tanks. Tanks. Hey, man. Europe is thinking electric. Tanks. Really? Yeah, I saw that too, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Eric, technically, you're still owner on paper of Larimar, right? Yeah. Yeah. Or did you cancel your contract? Well, technically, I'm still an owner, man. I don't pay, but yeah, I'm still on contract. Yeah, they got, like I said, 17 to 20 grand of my money. Uh, so it's sitting there. They're not going to send it back. Remember, I told you guys. In fact, I showed you guys like 4 or 5 months back on my screen the emails 3 times. I sent them a message saying, "Hey, I need to cancel, man. I need to get my money back." And after the third time, finally somebody from their office goes, "I'm sorry, we didn't get back in touch with you. Uh, we'll review this and get back in touch." I sent him a message back like, "Okay, so I sent you 3 previous messages, and your messages will get back in touch again," and then never heard back from them. So, and they were giving people back their money minus 10%. So I was like, okay, if I gave them somewhere, I should count up how much I gave them. But anyhow, 17,000 or 20,000. I'm gonna either lose 2,000 or 1,700 either way. Okay, fine. I didn't mind paying the 10% penalty. That's what they were giving people back. I said, all right, fine. At least I wouldn't be making payments all this time and no delivery in 2 months, like they said. No delivery in another year. And then give me a delivery for another 3 years. So anyhow, Larimar's telling people stupid stuff. Yeah, technically, I am under contract. Yes, this is true. At DIM Pals, when you say buying options, are you buying and doing call? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Good question. Brian P. Yep, yep. Tips and donate Rescue USA. EV place third world country. I keep telling you guys, America's a third world country. It's just that the rich have all the benefits of being able to make money on the backs of exploitation workers for the most part. And so they still get to stay above the fray because they still get to live in their nice places, nice locations, and still have the grocery stores operating and everything's working fine. Their health care coverage is they can cover it themselves, so they're good. It's the other 90% that we have to worry about. Us. All right. It's not going to go so well for us. And all those people that have money, just like us, you have property or businesses all out of America. So even if America melts down, sayonara, I'm chilling in another country. It might not be as great as America is or whatever the perception is, but I'm chilling over here in the not so technologically advanced location. I'm chilling. I'm happy, right? It costs less even. All right. Yeah, tips. Exactly, EV Place. It's sad. So DIM Pals is doing option trading with YieldMax ETFs. And by the way, I do not dislike it. I love it. The YieldMax ETF stocks move up and down, especially PLTY. It could be 68 one day, 60 the next. That is a great movement for option traders. Geesh. As long as they have the, what do you call the volume? Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it because they do move. They do move no matter which one they are. They move. Like TSLY moved like 7% or something. I was like, wow, that would have been awesome if knew how to do option income trading. That is great, DIM. That is great. Wow. DIM pals. So you're doing the wheel strategy. I'm doing the same strategy with SPY, QQQ, IWM, NVIDIA, MSFT, and now hitting PLTR hard because it's cheap. Agree. I love options income, man. I wish I knew how to do those. Actually, it's getting a little easier because you know what I noticed on Moomoo? All of a sudden, I looked at the stock, it had options. I was like, come on, I can learn a little bit about this. Let me go check out this paper trade. So now that's on my agenda. I didn't realize it was basically trading. I thought it was something else. And I was like, holy smokes, I can actually put in a price. And then I saw it gave me like option to be like a month away or 2 weeks, dates. They gave dates. And then they gave, how much it costs. I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me right now? Actually, I can do this. I can do this. I haven't done my first one yet, but we can do this, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute. This right here, Venus Williams says she returned to tennis for the health insurance, even after earning 42 million. Exactly. See, this is where I'm going with this. People have no idea how much healthcare costs because most of the time you're covered. But people don't deal with what if I'm not covered and I don't have insurance? So that's why I say we're in peril. Because just like right now, the tax cut tax break plan, we're going to have 15 to 20 million people that's going to be affected by that won't have health coverage. And then again, I started this off at the beginning, the workers, the caregivers, and everybody that's associated with them, they're going to be laid off, right? So then when you go to the hospital, you don't have coverage and you need something, and they have, well, this will be 40 grand. This will be 50 grand because of your illness and what we're going to have to do in an operation. And that's how much this part is going to cost you 5 grand. This part's going to cost you 15. This part's going to cost you 5. The days you stay here for 4 or 5 days in recovery is going to cost you 8. I mean, it adds up fast. And now the other bad news. The Trump administration allows your health debt, medical debt, can now go back on your credit report. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's millions of people that's going to have credit, or their health care, their medical debt is going back on, which is going to drag people's down. Bad news. Bad news. Sandal Resort scores major victory in Florida lawsuit. Wow. Um, I don't know what that is about. That's interesting. August 1st, touch law will see new U.S. state enforce fines for drivers with hands in the wrong spot. What the hell is. No, come on. It says the U.S. Sun. What is U.S. Sun? No, this can't be, man. Come on. Are we serious right now with this? This has to be some other country, right? This got to be some of the. Oh, God. Are we serious with this right now? This U.S. Sun can't touch this. We'll see. Penalties can hit $100. Drivers could face even if they're caught in certain areas. July 24th. Worse still, drivers could face higher penalties if they're caught in certain areas. What date is this? Crackdown on motorists found scrolling on their cell phones while behind the wheel. This is in Louisiana. Fines will start at $100, but will rise to $250s. $250 if drivers are caught violating the law within a school zone or construction area. Vehicle owners will only be allowed to answer their cell phones via hand-free devices such as Apple Watches, although they will still be allowed to use their device while waiting in a stoplight. Specifically, the law bans writing, sending, or reading text-based communications, as well as accessing, reading, and posting to social media. Exemptions too, including paramedics using radio devices. January 2026 in Louisiana, one of the poorest states. Sheesh. 45th in education, 45th in or 45th state in ranking out of 50 in healthcare. 45th. I mean, come on, man. These guys just trying to get money out of any means necessary because they are not going to have revenues. Jesus Christ. This is a third world country waiting to happen. This is insane. Bait and switch cars. The dealerships are actually, yeah, I read about this. The VIN numbers, and then they're changing VIN numbers, doing all kind of stuff. Etching wheels and lock, 1790 includes the VIN etching, the wheel locks, recovery system to protect against theft, reconditioning, the fees the dealership costs to get the vehicle ready to sell, including inspection, repair, exterior paint protection, 1,300. Jeesh. Wow. bait and switch pricing. So they're telling people a car's like 75 grand. And then when they get there, yeah, all these other fees brings it to 85 grand. I thought that was out. I thought them days were over. Jesus Christ. Uh-oh. Retail XRP holders could soon earn 20% yield on their tokens. Oh, this is crazy. The platform routes XRP deposits into smart contract vaults that automatically deploy capital across the DeFi strategies. And this is debt, all while maintaining user control, access, and withdrawals. I'm not buying this. So they're going to, okay, if let's just say they're doing this based on the stock market. You guys know you can lend your shares of stock, right? And receive some yield back. And you still have control of it. I'm not a fan, but it happens. 20% yield is, uh, hey, take my XRP. It's going to sit here anyhow. I mean, okay, give me some money for it. Hell yeah. They're saying this is what Coindex is saying. Coindesk. That's what they're saying. All right. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And there another reason. Oh, the sandals thing. I don't know what that victory was. Let's go look. Okay, protect yourself leading out of your bank account. Hold up your money out of your brokerage accounts. They don't usually like to take people's money out of their brokerage accounts, but they will. Uh, um, sales, uh, clubs. I don't know what to call sandals. I'm Googling it and it brings up sandals, as in the shoes. Uh, Victory Vacations appears to be no. That's a club sandals. Okay. Uh, yeah, I can't find that. But yeah, XRP 20%. Okay, XRP, ladies and gentlemen. There's another reason to buy XRP. Get to it. Uh oh. Working longer won't save your retirement, expert warns. Oh, this goes by. Okay, I can already tell you what this does. If you guys were with Wednesday, remember what I was telling you? Yesterday's price is not going to be tomorrow's price. Uh huh. Funny, funny, funny. Funny. Let's see what these experts are saying. They're with the SSN Nation on this. Let's see. This is very, very interesting, quite frankly. I love it when the experts agree with me. How does that sound? I love it when they agree with me. That's funny. All right, here we go. Working longer won't save you retirement. Expert warns. For years, working longer has been promoted as the best way to share, shore up your retirement, especially if you're behind financial security, then significantly increasing your savings rate. Interesting. Um, Working longer consensus was really a convenient untruth. Said in a recent episode of the consensus was that if people haven't saved for the last 40 years when we told them to, at least they have an out and we don't have to do anything about it. The root issue, she said, is that the responsibility has been shifted entirely on the individuals. The thinking goes that since everyone is living longer, then people can clearly live and work longer, she explained. And since jobs are getting easier, then all people can. Ms. Ducey argued because the premise that everyone is living longer has easier jobs is false, and therefore this idea that we could all just work longer to make up for living gaps is false. Okay, get to the meat of this, will you please? So, what are you saying? Men, and especially white men, have experienced the biggest longevity gain, she said. So, we have big average increase pulled up by these white men doing good things, but they have also been lucky because they've actually had work careers that lead to longer lives and maybe even a choice to live longer. Yes, the more money you have, generally, you might not have a stress. For many others, life expectancy has stagnated. Okay, women, for instance, have seen little or no improvement in part because they are working more. Working actually isn't that good for you, she said. Oh, they're going on that tangent. Okay, that is true. The benefits of working longer depend on whether an individual is part of the elite. Exactly. There you go. For the privileged few, work might make them healthier and keep their minds sharp, especially if they control the pace and content of their jobs. Right. That's why when you can wake up, you want about longer working longer is reducing your health. 89% of people have jobs that, if they continue them, would actually hasten death. Brings out section. Women in surf related jobs who are working past 60 are especially vulnerable to having their jobs create more illness, more morbidity, a shorter span. Wow. Well, we knew that. Come on now. Less stress, you live longer. That's why when people are married, they generally live longer because, to speak, some about the actual living. I'll put this in here, right here, so you see it in the chat room. Again, these are not good signs. Again, protect yourself. These are not good signs because it is a fact. Elderly are working longer because their pension or Social Security can't cover how much it costs to live today. That is a true fact. And that's bringing up a lot of stress. Check your blood pressure, ladies and gentlemen. All right. That's what you need to do. Check your blood pressure. Brian P. Reports out of Florida indicate that a federal judge rejected U.S. 660 million claim by HH Advertising brought against Sandals Resort in a hot-fought copyright dispute, instead awarding damages. Okay, of 500,000. Okay, then that is a victory. Far from 660 million. That's cool. All right, here we go. Moon Palace Resort in Punta Cana is scheduled to open spring 2026. I doubt it. I heard on the radio today they have started hiring staff personnel. I plan to be one of the first people staying there. Yeah, they always have a special at first, too, by the way. So you're going to go over, you're going to abandon your favorite Hard Rock spot, and you're going to go over to Hard Rock's brother's spot next door? Oh, no, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right on. Post retirement travel is going to be doing his worldwide at Moon Palace Resort sometime in 2026. By the way, it's taken 7 years to build, just so everybody knows. 2,000 rooms, over 2,000. I think it's 2,100, 2,200 rooms. And yes, condo. Do they have condo hotel? They have condos and villas, and they're going to have a golf course, which I don't get, but okay. And they're going to have a clubhouse. It's called Zabella Clubhouse, I believe. So, and it's in Macau. They're officially trying to brand it as Macau, which gives you a little more value. So that's great. So I got to give a shout out to that project anyhow. By the way, they're selling 2-bedroom condos. How about $500,000? I know, I know. It's crazy out there. Somebody's lost their cotton picking mind. It's insane. Somebody lost their cotton picking mind. All right. I still had this picture up, so I'm going to do this one more time. I had this right here. I had it up. So hold on. Let me do it this way. That's where the towers, prime towers are. You will notice on the other side, there's no horizon being built, which is next door. No horizon tower being built. This is the only area they're building anything. However long you think they're going to build 17 floors. 16 floors plus a roof on the 16th floor means 17 floors to me. Right? So, how long are they going to take? And this is 2 weeks ago, approximately. Okay, we know what cranes look like. So, uh, even this is probably a Sunday, so that would explain why nobody's there, other than people talking or shooting or doing whatever. But there's no workers. Oh, here we go. Somebody did some other pictures. There you go. So anyhow, that's it. That's the Larimar update. Cruise on land. They put out a press release. This is so annoying. They put out a press release talking about they're partnering with um, what was that called? No, it's Par. Uh, Cruise. Here it is. Perla Global Capital Advisors. They're partnering with them. This is so sad. I think from my perspective, it's sad. I could be wrong. Perla Globe. This is a press release. This isn't. I don't go by press releases. Perla Global Capital Advisors announces joint venture with Cruise on Land International. All right. That's not the part that's crazy. The part that's crazy is this came out January 17th, 2025. All right. Now, this Perla Global Capital Advisors, just that, they're advisors of when somebody's trying to do a joint, receive capital for their money or for investing in their project, which is Cruise on Land. They are hunters out there looking, saying, hey, there's this great project over here. Do you want to invest in it? This is in January, okay? The reason this annoys me is here, you know what? You guys can go see this yourselves. Cruise on Land, there's people that own it, Cruise on Land. This is so annoying to me. I'm like, who cares what you're saying? All right? The reason you're going to care later is because these guys do something else. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I have to Google this. Okay, let me see if I can find it, but I'll just tell you what it is. So now they release in July a press release. It's so sick. The reason why it irritates me is in the press release they released in July, a week or two back, they say $700 million joint venture deal with Perla Capital. Okay. 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 Perla Capital Advice. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. Let me do something. Here, let me do this. So now they say it's a $700 million deal. As far as I can tell, there's only one guy that runs Perla Advisors, maybe two. They're not a corporation. They don't have $700 million. So what the hell is going on? All right. So, so of course, you know what? I'm sitting here like so annoyed by this fake stuff, just so it can make it appear to investors or owners that something is happening. That's not, and it's so annoying. Check this out. I'll just show you guys something. Here's PitchBook. Show you something. This is why it's annoying to me. When they announced their $7 million deal, partnership, or whatever, look at this crap. Has provided services on one deal. 2016. This is the blacked out part. I mean, you can see this is a free version where they black out everything. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Then 555 West 5th Street, floor 35 in LA, downtown LA. You know how much it would cost to have a business office in downtown LA? So I ask you guys, what do you think type of office would they have? You know what type? The type I would have from my small business. It's a business suite where you can go and use a room or may even have a room in a business suite that's going to have a conference room and everything else. So it's a shared space is what that address is. All right? So this is why again I'm sitting here. Is this for real right now? Here's their team, which, by the way, their team is one Serrano, I think his name is. So I was like, this is financing advisory. Like this is a thing. Basically, they find somebody to. They're basically middlemen trying to find people to invest in them, and they're talking about 700 million. I wish I could find the damn article. Let me see. And cruise on land. Let's see if it can Google up. I don't think it can. Because it's a press release, and there's only 3 press releases that's ever been out. The one in January, and then they released this one on some webs. Oh, there it is. Is it PR? I think it was. I thought it was PR News. Maybe it's not. Hold on. Let me see. Wait, they did something in 2016 too? Oh, hell no. I just found a press release from 2016. Perla Global Capital Advisors is pleased to announce a joint venture. This says 2016. So they've been Oh, here it is. Zoom info. No. Where's the one from this month? I didn't even know about. Here it is right here. 8 days ago. Here you go. This must be it right here. This is crazy. So it was out in 2016. I didn't even know it. The reason this even came up is because in our group SSN Lifestyle on WhatsApp, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You see this? You see this? 25. Can you believe this? They mentioned in 2016, apparently, January 2025, but there was no mention of this 700 million. Okay? Now, the reason I got upset again is they're talking about 700 million, and this is what they were saying about the phase of construction. The project's going to generate 2,000 and 3,000 employees. And during the development, up to 7,000 jobs, 7 to 12,000 jobs. These dudes are talking all kind of smack. This is craziness. None of this is going to happen. They will not have 7,000 working on this project. You can forget that. They're not going to have 2 or 3,000 either. And then they had nerve to say that they're going to have potentially 12,000 or so employees in the region or some crazy. Hold on, I can't read this whole thing. Hold on a second. Can't here we go. 2,000 to 3,000 direct jobs is expected. No. In addition to approximately 7,000 indirect jobs. No. Once completed and fully operational, the complex will have approximately 12,000 employees. Oh, and by the way, this is news to me. 6,000 hotel rooms. I'm like, wait, where's the 6,000? That's a lot of hotel rooms. That's a big ass place. So then in my brain, I'm thinking, wait a minute. How many condos are at this place? Originally 4,400 condos. But they added another floor. Could that be an additional 1,000, 1,500 rooms? Yes, it can, because there's 18 buildings, I think. Like, was there 18 or 14? Anyhow, let's just say it's 12. I'll go down to 12. Let's say there's 12 buildings, but they're talking 6,000 hotel rooms. Okay. So now I'm thinking, whoever owns a cruise on land, you might want to call and find out what the hell are they talking about, because I didn't buy a condo hotel, right? I didn't buy a condo hotel. So what are they talking about? Here's a link right here for cruise on landowners. That's it. I got it. That sent to me on our SSN Lifestyle WhatsApp. And the person, I said, after I read it, I was like, what is this? What's this 700 million? This company's Perla Group doesn't have 700 million. So they got financing, or what do you think the average price is of the condos? 150,000? 175,000? 125,000? Right? So I was like, let's do some mathematics. Times 4,000. I did $125,000 times 4, and that's 500 million. Seems to me, if there's 6,000 units, 125,000 average price, that would be 700 million. That's probably where they're getting it from. Now, that is the only press release that came up. So they must have sent it to the owners to show them this so they would get hyped when in fact you should not be hyped. They're doing bogus. This is what I learned from Larimar, by the way. They do the same thing. They announce all these grandiose deals and then come to find out the deals were not even going to happen. 9 times out of 10. Sure, they got a few that happened, but out of all of them, it's like, wait, what happened to that press release you did in 2022? Where's that at? What happened with you guys said you're going to help build 3 of the sections of Blue Tyrannus Jack. Saphiro, Blue Diamond, and Larimar buildings. That was 2 years ago. You think there's any building going on at Blue Tyrannus and any of those buildings? No. Was it even a legitimate press release? Who knows? But as we know of today, there's no building going on for any of that. This is what I'm talking about. I can't rely on press releases from the DR. They're bogus half the time, almost all the time. They're doing it so they can get more investors, is the way I look at it. And this thing about not delivering on time and telling people to be it, that shit should be done with. Nobody should be going, I'm good with it, unless you are good with it. Now, I told investor about DR. They said, do you think I should invest right now? I said, yeah, because what's going to end up happening is while there's a decline, that is the best thing that they're building during the decline on tourism. That is the best thing. And because America is having their decline, it'd be much better to see what happens 3 to 4 years from now. So if you get delivery in 2028, 2029, that's probably a better blessing than having it delivered now. And I'm going to give you my other reason. The reason is just like post-retirement travel is sitting here, and he bought his unit at the Hart Conrock Galaxy, and it was 230,000 roughly 6 years ago, 6 years ago or more. Even though he's had to wait, the value that they're selling that same unit for now is 400 plus thousand. So even if you're not happy, he could sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to sell my place. Who'll give me 400 G's? Well, whatever the market time. But it's going to be up there. Moon Palace is going to be up there, which also is a whole nother animal because their 2 bedrooms at Moon Palace are over 550 and they're smaller. It's crazy, but it's Moon Palace. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes, so again, Larimar goes with this for me, because if 3 years from now, 130,000, 125,000, 100,000, 150,000 2 bedroom unit, they're going to be the price. We don't know what it'll be, but it won't be 150. It'll be more. So on the other side, it could be 250. The reason why yesterday's price is not going to be the 2028 price. Right now, they're building things at $200 per square foot, $2,000 per square meter. That's around the average price, $1,500 to $2,000 per square meter. 3 years, it's not going to be $2,000 or $1,500 per square meters. It's going to be $3,000 to $3,500 or more. So by default, if you had $100,000 1 bedroom and it was 500 square feet, now all of a sudden, if it's worth 4,000 or 3,500 per square feet, all of a sudden, that's 300 G's for the same square footage. Sell. Take your money and run. Why try to rent it out? if somebody wants to buy it. And it gives you an advantage as well. Let's just say the market doesn't bear and people are trying, they bought the new ones and they're 250 and all those guys want to sell and now they have to sell at 250 and up. You have a huge advantage. You can sell me 175, 180. Who will give me 280? I mean, you have a huge advantage because they can't sell as cheap as you. You can sell anything up to 250 at that point. So now you're just like, give me 240, 230, cash out and roll with your next investment. Or if the market is still good with rentals and there's more tourists coming, 14 million, you're going to be good. So again, what I'm referring to, all right? Okay, let's go. Larimar. Here we go. We have Dave, I don't know his last name, Gagari, could be it. Dave Gagari, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. All right, I'm breaking up. Ah, man, when I had that stuff on screen, no doubt. Damn. So you guys didn't hear me. All right, Dave Gagari might have some updates for us. That would be nice. On Larimar, you were breaking up, Eric. Damn. Sorry, man. You were good now. Oh, good. That's good. All right. So it was only a short, temporary kind of thing. Somebody wanted to talk Larimar. God dog it. So I was going on my rant. Maybe Dave, I thought he was going to say something. Or he wanted the Larimar update, which he got. It's not a good thing for me. Like I said, it's going to be built. I told you guys this 6 months, 7 months, 8 months ago to be built. It was just what's the timeline? And like I said, wake me up when it's 2028. Because then I just want to see how far they've gotten. I just want to see if one tower's up or two towers are up. Because there's no way I'm believing six towers will be up. And Horizon. There's no way. I don't see how that's going to be possible, even in 36 months. Well, it's not mathematically, it's not possible unless you're like Cruise on Land and say, well, we got 5 or 6,000 people that's going to be working here to develop this thing, like it's a data center or something. That's not going to happen. There are some YouTube videos of this resort out there. This one and the Hawk will be the two giants of Punta Cana. Competition is great for our pocket. Well, see, post-retirement travel, I don't agree. I don't agree with your assessment on this. Since we're investors, I'll just give you my point of view. Because you're an investor, you win because you bought at that price and you know you can sell it apparently for 400 plus thousand. So your exit strategy can be now. I mean, when they finish. Um, because do you really want to try and make 200,000? But again, you'll have an advantage because your brother or brother-in-law owns Econo Rock. So you'll get feedback before everybody else on what the real occupancy rate is. So you'll know well in advance what's happening. You'll have a year in advance of something, I believe. They're not delivering this year, I don't think. So you'll have an advantage because you'll be able to look through that year cycle and be like, okay, it got 50% or 30%. Do I want to wait around for this type of, and then you'll know what's been happening with the tourist numbers. Because I think we're going to level off. The majority of United States and Canadian citizens are broke, and that's where the bulk of their tourism comes from. And the United States, who wants to really leave and come back, especially if you're a person of color, you never know what's going to happen to you, right? And if you're not a person of color, like people from Australia and the EU has been detained in concentration camps. So you just don't know. So that's going to hurt tourism to America. But at the same time, a lot of people may not leave and come back. Don't want to go that round trip. But again, I I think the jury's going to be out since there's no real amenities. A pool is is one thing, location is another, but the pool and loans aren't going to cut it. I just it had potential, but they still are on this. We're going to charge you to go to the beach and you pay through the beach club, and that's just asinine stuff. And then they're making the owners pay a yearly dues, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Annual dues to go to the beach club that was supposed to have been included. Guests who stay there gonna have to pay $35 per person to go to the beach, and you get the use of the beach club, and you have a consumption fee of $35. So if you pay the 35 per person, then of course you use the 35 in food and drinks or lose it. So again, family of four in a two-bedroom, $140. I just I just don't, when there's beaches that you can just go to anyhow for free. I with I don't get that part. Maybe they'll change it, but it doesn't make any sense. And this is also why we can already look right now. There is no love for not getting any higher rental rates than anybody else in the city. Everybody generally has the same amount because the tourist numbers aren't up. They're about the same as before, but now you have new units. So there's no outliers. There's nobody going to have a two-bedroom and we get 1,800. It's not going to happen. There might be two people trying to do that, but for the most part, most people are going to be under the 900 to 1,100 range, according to what we looked at last week on Airbnb. Winter time comes, January, February, March, which is the good time. Prices went up about $200, but most were still at the same price point, 900 to 1,100 for a two-bedroom for the week. Some went up to 1,400, which is 200 per night. But see, therein lies the problem. Two bedrooms were 200,000. 0.1% rental price at 50% is what we need. But are we going to get 50% occupancy to reach our 10%? See, that's what we don't know yet. So we're going to find out. But like I said, post retirement travel has family that owns a one bedroom in that place. So he's going to be able to be firsthand. Nobody's going to be able to fool him with the occupancy rate for their particular unit, which is furnished exquisitely. I saw someone selling his one bedroom penthouse at Blue Marlin for 130. That's correct. That's correct. Right. Because that's what the one bedrooms at Coral Village is going for. Paseo Del Mar. They're selling one bedrooms for 120 to 130 right now. The ones that are already built. Yeah, I believe it. He's going to ask that. Will he get it? I don't know. But yeah, he's going to ask it because that's the going rate. And again, I'll let people know this isn't a place that gets 70% occupancy, just so everybody understands. The problem is once you get this 120, 130 number, you may say it's a good deal, but unfortunately, you're not going to get 130, 120 a night for a one bedroom in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. Because you can go look right now. There, it's it's not rocket science. You can go to Airbnb and see right now that if you got for the week right now, if you got around 700, you would be good. So that's where things getting crazy. It's not going to be crazy for the people that bought the freaking Coral Village for 79 grand or 69 grand. Just like those who bought Blue Marlin for 59 or 57 grand, like you did, 60 grand, you're going to be fine. But the person that buys your one bedroom house for 140, 150, I don't know if you'll be able to charge 150 a night, 140 a night, and get the occupancy numbers because there's going to be a lot more units that's going to be on the market. As we speak, Marlin's units are on the market. The marina, oh, I don't know the name of it. It was called, It's across the street from oh, it's in Los Corrales, Citrus. Across the street from Citrus is a new development just got online, and it goes a block back. That comes online. That has to have at least 100 to 200 units. Then Oceana should be coming online in the next year. Ocean Bay, I don't know what that's going on there. That's been in progress for 7 years. Still not delivered yet. Good grief. But again, there's another 100, 150 units there. Maple Beach on El Cordecito side has come online and delivered their first phase, which is another 75 to 100 units. So all these units are coming up. So this is why these people who are going to be selling, they're saying, yeah, I bought my stuff for 70 grand, 80 grand, 60 grand. Hell yeah, I'll take 130, 120. I'm out. Because in order for me to make that 60, 70 grand back, how many years is it going to take? They already know the numbers. They're sitting here like, damn, I only have 60% occupancy, but I can only charge 500 a week. I mean, and I'm only, I'm getting like 2 weeks, let's say, 1,000 per month, but then I got to give off how much to expenses. So you got 12,000 less HOA fees. HOA fees is let's call it 1,200. So you're down to 10,005. And then if you have management, you're down another 20 to 30%. So you're like 7 Gs. So it's going to take you 10 years or at the same price point. Will it rise? We don't know. That's where the problem comes in. Which Blue Marlin, the apartments or the townhomes, both are in the Corrales area. He's talking about the one bedroom condos. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the one bedroom penthouse though, which actually they should go for the same price, or not the same, but one should be 10,000 or so more. Again, it's crazy. Eric, the best thing, I've paid only 20% so far. There you go. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have a huge advantage. So the question is going to come up. EV Places bought this one bedroom penthouse unit. I think he said 57,000, 59,000. He got charged an extra 5 for something, so he's going to be 62, I think. 63,000. So the question that comes to mind when he gets this delivered and he finds out that he can sell his penthouse unit for 130, 140. The question has to come up, what is going to be my occupancy rate over here in this location? And how long will it take me to get back to 70 grand, 65, 70 grand? Or do I just take my 65, 70 grand plus a profit of 65, 70 grand and go invest into something else or keep my duffel bag of cash handy? Because in order to make that, it's going to take many years. So if people really want to know, you go, you know what? It's Friday night. Just got paid. You guys got time? We're going to make time. We'll go Airbnb right now so we don't have to guess it. I've got 2 one-bedroom penthouse apartments. Oh, EV Place. I started reading this. I was like, wait, post-retirement travel split and got a special deal with Connell Rock? Okay. You guys know what we do here. You know what? I'm doing all this talking. You know how we really do it. We just go look. We just go get the real numbers. Let me get me some. Where's my? Oh, okay. I was wondering what happened. I dropped my water. All right. We're going to go look at Airbnb. Why not? Why not? Let's go look. Let's go look. Let's go see what's happening here. You guys know this is what investors do. We talk, we can guess what's going to happen based on information. Here's information. This is today. So the question I have for everybody, let's just get real. If there's all timeshares, hold on. You know what? I'm going to do this right here. Timeshare, condos, villas on short-term rental platforms in the La Altagracia province. That's the whole county. That includes Veron, Cap Cana, Macau, all the way back down to the airport, out to by eBay is in La Altagracia. Can you believe that? By eBay's out there. Okay, so I'm going to put August 4th through the 11th. Fair enough. Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. We're going to go short term at summertime. Summertime may not be the best time, but you guys are going to see here shortly over 1,000 in the La Altagracia, probably 6,600 and counting. I'm pretty sure it's higher than that now because I'm pretty sure there's been deliveries over the last months. But we're going to go with 1,000 units, ladies and gentlemen. So what are we going to do? We're going to go over here to go see. Where are we at? Here, see the screen might slow down. I might have issues. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We already see it. August 4th to the 11th. 576 for the week, ladies and gentlemen, all in. Oh, hold on. I'll let you guys in on the secret, right? Let's go. Let me let you guys in. This is probably going to be a little slow down, but here you go. Here we go. All right. See on the right-hand side. This point is being proven as we speak. 576 for a week. This is by the water. Blue apartment oceanfront is 576 for the week. And it's available. Ladies and gentlemen, it's available. Ocean view, oceanfront. It's available. That is roughly 83 or so dollars per night. Do you think he bought this for 80 some thousand? Doubtful. 90 doubtful. No way, no how, right? This is my point, but look back here. 374 for the week. This is like $54, $55 a night or something. This is crazy. This is what project is that? Looks like there's something new on horizon. Residential Villas Bavaro. Okay, that's interesting. That's oh wow, that's yeah, that should be that's way back before you get to El Cortecito. Thought this was it because that said Playa. Where's the oh, that's Cocatel. Okay, so we're not where I need to be yet. Hold up. Star, what's happening here? Um yeah, that didn't have enough. Where uh, I don't see the map. Hold on a minute. This is going to be a second. This looks like a little poof of a lot of things. Let's see here. 443. This looks like, let's see. This looks like a Noval. Yep, it's a Noval. There we go. Is this, where is this at? Okay. The markers aren't defined like they used to be. They've changed up something. Hold on. This right here, I think we're at, yeah, we are. We're at Connor Rock. Yeah, here we are. Holy smokes. 479 homes are in this map area. Yeah, this is Connor Rock right here. So again, look, this is not, again, these are not, this is less than 100 a week that I was referring to. This is 100 a week. These aren't even $700. Look, again, if the one bedrooms you could have bought for like, what was it, 99, 89,000, the early bonus ones. Look at this. This guy's at 282 for the week, a two bedroom. Wow. 447 for the week, a one bedroom. 443. Again, a mistake not putting in what unit size it is, but all right. 654, two bedroom. 621, one bedroom Rockstar, 543. Paradise in front of Hard. Okay, again, I don't know if there's an advantage because just because you're by Hard Rock doesn't mean anything because again they minimized it because the people can only use the casino, a couple of restaurants, nightclub. You can't use any of the amenities. And again, if you want to use the amenities as a guest, you're going to be paying over $100 per person for 6 or so hours, 6 to 8 hours. And if you have a family of three or four, that's $300-400 a day. So that's why I think this hurts is because they don't have a something that's reasonable. And they're putting and the next door is going to be 2,000 more hotel rooms and condos over here. And these condos are more than these. Well, maybe the same because a 550,000 for a two bedroom is crazy. All right, so I was in the right area originally, but this right here this is 369. Just so you guys know, you can see it over here on the left hand side. 272 homes. No, there's nobody over 700 right now. 870 penthouse, but it's available. But it doesn't mean anything. There's 347 homes for rent in this section. The penthouse unit is the most expensive naturally, but there's just way too much, too much, too much. Okay, so some people say, okay, Eric, let's go to prime time. Let's see what happens. This is why you can't buy anything over you can't buy for 300 grand. That makes no sense. Okay, let's go to February 5th through the 12th. Is that prime time? No, I'm going to do this. January all the time has more tourists than the month of February so far in the last 3 years. So I'll go to January. January 9th, prime time. Look, these are all looking like $100,000 or less. And people had to spend, here goes, well, 1480. Three bedroom, but he'll probably get that close to the beach, close to the front. We have 580. That's probably a one bedroom. Says they have two beds. We just got too much. That's less than 100 a night, or even around 110, 120, 100. And this is, yeah. So all the people who would come here and buy these things for 400 grand, 300 grand, that's crazy to think you cannot get 300 per night. That's not going to happen. Not right. Again, more units are coming out because they're doing Poseidonia. The same rules apply here, applies everywhere else. Poseidonia is coming. Riviera bays coming. You have other condo projects that's coming over here besides those two. Um, Oasis Bay by Vivantia. So we're adding another 1,000 units out here, and some people are paying 300, $400,000 for units. And you can clearly see if they had them delivered right now, they would be in a world of hurt. And you know what else? Now I will go somewhere else. Remember, we were talking about the we were talking about the other place, Los Corrales, El Cortecito. I think I was. It was some ridiculous for the Ocean View room in Corrales. That place for 40,000. So where's it? Uh, uh, do, do. Playa. I assumed it's in this section, but we don't have enough units showing. This is where the Blue Marlin would be. This is where other places would be. But we're going to see the similar type of thing because they too have new units in their area. So you're going to see the same prices up here. See, 884. I'm assuming this has to be, right? 1 block from the beach. Is that Maple Beach? Can't tell. Could be. That means we're in a little bit wrong. I got to go. Here we go. Here we go. Here's where all the people usually stay. And you can see right here, is that going to be 500? 198 homes is here. At the price, the same. Rock. And the reason why is because they too have additional units showing up in their marketplace. So all the rules apply. Nothing is. That's why you can't willy-nilly go out here and be like, yeah, I'm going to buy a 1-bedroom for 130,000. Okay. Well, you can't get 0.1% of your rental value because you can see easily 741, 675, 626 is the norm. 291 rental homes right now, January 9th through the 16th in this area. And this is prime time. You can see all this is like $90, $80. This one's different. Penthouse. Okay. They're trying to get 150 roughly per night. Not mad at them. Maybe they'll get it. But all around them, $300 less, $400 less, $500 less. Here goes another one. 1,056 penthouse. 150 per night for on average. Again, way too many choices. Maple Beach, by the beach. In front with balcony, great. 626 for the week, 416 for the week. Ocean View room. This is a room though. That's not the whole thing. Condo directly on the beach, 610. These are all less than $100 a night. So again, it's going to be very hard if you're in Blue Marlin. You're back here. Sure. And that's the beauty of it. You will be able to get 350, 400 per night. Right? So you're going to be fine. I don't know exactly where Blue Marlin is because we came at nighttime. So I don't really know where it is. I just know it's off of here somewhere. It's home. Yeah, it's over here somewhere. I just don't know exactly where. Nice. But you can see the general area. You're talking about 700 a night or less. Here goes something. This is Cocatel. So it's too far. Cocotal is a premium area. Again, I don't know how they get their pricing and all that. That's crazy. So anyhow, for the right, let's go. All right, I'm going to turn this down. Okay, that's the lesson for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we've been on here 3 hours. I thank you so much for being here and the support, but make sure you smash that like button. If you find out about financials and how we, as investors, I operate differently than anybody else here. Everybody has their own metrics that they use for their investing. I operate differently because in different terms. We know prices are going to go up to purchase because the cost of materials go up. What we don't know is what's going to happen with occupancy rates as you have more properties that are going to be short-term rentals or even long-term rentals that come on the market at a lower price point than people who now bought in 2024, 2025, because they said, well, like right now, I'll buy a one bedroom for 120,000 because that's what everybody's selling them for. And then they say, well, rent them out. And then you go run the numbers and you're like, well, wait a minute. In order for you to get $1,000 per month, you have to be at 50% occupancy. Your HOA is going to cost you $100 per month. So that's 900. So you're actually going to need to be closer to 55 to 60% occupancy just to get 1,000 per month. That's 12 grand. And we still haven't subtracted our expenses if we have any. And we're still, best case scenario, going to get our 10%. Meanwhile, again, unknown factors. Are you going to have insurance? So there goes an insurance amount that's going to be due. So instead of making 12,000, let's just say you're down to 10.5. Are you going to have property management? Let's say you found somebody that's going to do 25%. Okay, well, you just lost a quarter of it. So instead of 12,000, you're down to 8,000, I believe. No, yeah, that. No. Well, we'll stay in that ballpark. That's 3 grand. So we're down to 9,000 minus our 1,000 for our insurance, 8,000. So see, this is where it starts going. So you're going to be good with making 8,000 at 60% occupancy, and we can do the math, right? We can do the math. So the math says we bought this one bedroom for 120,000. Sorry, hold on. We made 8,000. That's our profit divided by the purchase price. Are you going to be good? Best case scenario, and there's probably other fees but we'll say 6.6%. See, that's where the problem comes in. You're going to go through all this for 6.6% when you could have just bought ET with an upside and get 7.3%. But again, people don't think like this. So they're willing to take the $8,000 per year or this year, hoping that the prices can be increased over the next 10 years, right? Well, we don't know. It's not a given because they're adding more units out back in your neighborhood. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, I'm going to do 120,000 divided by 8,000. This will tell me how many years. That's 15 years for me to get back to 120 if everything stayed level. And that's at 60% occupancy, and that's with a 25% management fee, which is not out the possibilities. So again, what do you guys think? Anybody have any thoughts on this? Because the numbers You can't buy at 120. You can you can buy at under 100,000. And if you bought under 100,000 and you still got the 60% occupancy, now we're talking. We're not going to be at 6.6% interest. I could probably take off another 3% because you're going to have Airbnb. So we wouldn't have been at 8,000 anyhow. So, but it would have only been like $240. But nonetheless, um, and if you do the mistake of having a jacuzzi, now you are running your jacuzzi, getting it ready for people if you have guests. So we'll see what happens. 20% so far. If you're an investor, that's how you have to go. And you have to keep track. That's why I always give a monthly tourist numbers. That's why I give them out. So then everybody can just always go back. And you can see, here's what the tourist numbers were last year. This is what the tourist numbers is now. This is what the tourist numbers were 3 months ago. You can start seeing trends. So then it makes sense as an investor. So then you can plan. It's just planning. So if I know I think I can only get like 600 for a week, 700 for a week, then that means I'm thinking I got to get some for about 100 grand, 90 grand, somewhere in that ballpark. The only reason I'm going to buy higher, because right now, again, if I got my money back from Larimar, I'm going immediately to Seven Palms Luxury, Lakeview, inside Vista Cana. That's where I would go. I get a 1 bedroom there. The reason why is because it's 130 some thousand. So I think when they build this in 2 years, I think I'll be able to get 138 per night. 800 for a week, 900 for a week, 50% occupancy. I think I can. Because there's a reason. Ashton Schools, people are going to live there. That's going to be built. That's a school, legit school. Restaurant, bars, more being built. Lanube Center up front's built. And all the amenities, the sports club, they're all going to be built by 2028. Because I think that's how long it's going to take them, to 2027 at least, possibly into 2028. So that gives me the whole amenities list will be finished, and adding hopefully another amenity that I know about, but nobody's talked about and they haven't said yes. So we will see what happens. We will see what happens. Don't try to catch the train. Wait for the next window of opportunity. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's what I agree with. Jacuzzi on the roof tariff. Yeah. Again, you know I'm not a fan. Don't do it. Eric, first year, you have to find the sweet spot for nightly rates. Yep. You can start 5% above average and lower below the average halfway. Yeah, I agree. You know my philosophy. I go look. It's like when we're out at your spot. I saw places that were what, 700, 800, right? So what I do is I go similar. I go, okay, I want to be the second or third highest, basically. I don't really care about all these other people that have a 2 bedroom and they're renting it out for, $100 a night or whatever. I'm going, okay, or 60 or 70 a night. I'll go, I want mine to be, I saw the 800, I saw the 7 something. That means I'm going to be 695. I don't want to be the most expensive. I just want to be the one that can get my rental done. And I have one of the nicest furnished places, like what your brother-in-law's done. So people will stay there based on what it looks like. That's a thing too. People will look at pictures and be like, okay, I'll pay the extra $50 to $100 per night, or not per night, $50 to $100 extra overall, because look at that place. That looks like a place I want to stay. It's worth it. When you start talking about 500 extra or something, okay, that's a bit carried away. But when we're talking about $50 to $100 and they want to be comfortable, they'll pay that. They'll be like, I see this $595 over here, but Look how that doesn't look nice. Hell yeah, I'll pay $6.95. This looks nice. All the reviews say it's nice. Super host, whatever. Yeah, I'll pay the extra 100. We'll stay here. Because I mean, what's the difference between $6.95, $5.95? Come on, it's not like $5.95 to $1,095. That's the point. So I agree with this. That works as well. I agree with it 100%. You always go with higher, and you can always lower. You can always fluctuate. Dynamic pricing, highly recommended on that. You got to know when the like Hard Rock has events or used to. I haven't seen much about the events, but after doing my event, I know why there would be situations. But Hard Rock would promote it though, so that's very interesting. They used to have one in January. That's no longer there. People said nah, but I know why. The people are trying to take advantage of everybody that wants to do something on the island. I wouldn't risk quality just to get bookings. Nope, nope, exactly. I agree with you on that 110. Again, that should be shouted to the rooftops. There's a lot of people that's going to do short-term rentals. Do not put in cheap ass furniture, cheap ass furnishings. First of all, it's not going to last that long. Second of all, it doesn't get that curb appeal when somebody's looking through your video or videos too, pictures and videos. You don't have that. And now you're amongst your peers, other people who have one bedroom, two bedroom penthouse units, three-bedroom units. All those offerings are available to people, and you have nothing other than some regular old normal furnitures and nothing spectacular. And your reviews are okay, 4.5, 4.6. Okay, fine. But people want to see when they see 5 star or 4.9s, and they're sitting there like, why this person, what's going on? This looks nice. Hold on, this looks a nice. I'll pay the extra. I'll pay the extra. I'm not a fan. First of all, I got to say something else too. Um, Even though I like the numbers, once you, I'm a big fan of furnishing properly. We talked about this before because post retirement travel does Airbnb too. If you're going to be in this game of Airbnb, you have to have the basket. You have to have water or some gift, so to speak. That goes a long way when a person arrives and they're like, "Oh wow, they left me a gift basket or left me a bottle of wine or some gift that's a welcome gift that costs you nothing." I mean, we're talking about $20 and somebody's renting from you potentially for the rest of their lives. That's what a lot of people that do Airbnb do not realize. They don't realize that that one visitor, that family of visitors are telling their friends, their family. Post retirement travel can probably attest to the same thing. There are family members or friends of friends that say, "Hey, my friend told me to call you. They said your unit was nice, so I want to stay at your spot." They don't even care what the price is. They just know the price is what their friends was. So I just give them the price that their friend got because I'm already in the top 3% of the most expensive places. But that's what happens because of the hospitality. It's more than just a room, it's more than just the furnishings. It's how they feel after they open the door. Woo, this looks just like the pictures. And then when they walk over and start putting their stuff down, and there's a little basket or a little wine or a little thing, and they see a card, "Thank you for being our guest" or something, and that 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 goes a long way. And there's no problems because your place is maintenance is taken care of, everything is fine. But even if there is a problem, because there's so much goodwill that you've already put into play and something doesn't work, they'll hit you up and say, "Hey, this doesn't work. What should I do?" And that's when you're supposed to say, "Hey, I got somebody that's going to be coming." Or in my case, have you called the front desk? Because I have a condo timeshare hotel setup. And so it makes it easy for me. But when you're individual, you have to have that set up. And today, DR is not today, but you got to figure out somebody that's going to get there today. Um, but as long as you're doing all the preliminaries and they're happy, that's nothing. They'll be like, it's understandable, but at least we went out to the beach, we came back, we were gone to dinner, we came back, it was fixed. But this 1 or 2 or 3 days of stuff, that ain't gonna cut it. Okay, so um, but I agree with this 100%. But you set up the whole system. The experience has to be that. Anyone with Airbnb experience as a renter will know cheap isn't always the best option. Exactly. In fact, majority of times is a headache. Exactly. It comes down to pictures, amenities, size of unit, and I agree with you 120%. I agree with you because even when I look at properties, I see cheap stuff, and I turn them away because once I see the pictures, I see the furnishings, I see what what they got going on. I'm like, I ain't, even though it's $300 less, it ain't $300 less to me. I want to be comfortable, so I'll pay $300 more. I have no problem. I agree with this 110%. That's why you don't cheap out. You guys know I'm a fan of this. That's why you go to Opine Furniture in Dominican Republic in Punta Cana. Oppein. You say Joel. You tell him I need to see Joel. He speaks Spanish though, but don't worry. Just say SSN Nation. All right. Then Joel will be like, hold up. All right. And you could have special made furniture for your unit, color, design, your kitchen table, your dining table can have its own special stone added. Your couches, your walls, they can make it any color. You can have it any situation you want made. And you would say, oh, Eric, man, that's going to be too much. No, it's not too much. It's only going to be a few thousand. Seriously. You can have your beds with the end pieces. You can have everything specially made, color, custom, everything. It'll be ready in 90 days. Shipped from, you know where, China. And you measure your rooms made to fit for you, custom. Can you imagine? While people are paying $15,000 to $20,000 for furniture, that you can get it for less than 10. And when people walk in, it's like, whoa, what's this? This is cool. Special design, special everything, or less, quite frankly. Just so Joel, you're from SSN Nation. That's the key. Oppein. Speak Spanish, but just say Eric. SSN Nation sent me. He said you're gonna give me a good deal. And he said, and then give him the next part. If you don't give me a good deal, Eric, say call him. All right. There you go. Thank you for sharing experience. You're welcome, EV Place. That's the thing. We're trying to help everybody because people think I'm just going to get an Airbnb and then I'm going to go down to IKEA. You can go down to IKEA, but after a few rentals, something's going to be broken because there's cheaper product. So highly ill-advised. As renters, my wife and when travel, we never rent the cheapest one. Yep, exactly. We learned from our mistakes. We ran a beautiful unit in London cheap and turned out to be a nightmare. Don't do that, man. Yeah, well, you know better anyhow. You just tried it because it was London. But the point is, that's never a good recipe. Well, not I shouldn't say never, but I'm skeptical when something's in the same building and it's 100 per night, and all of a sudden over here there's like 50 a night. You look at pictures and automatically you can tell something's weird. I just say I'm not bothering with that. Even if it is nice, I don't really care. I'm going to go with the guy that's got the 4.9 something rating and everything look kosher. The reviews are sweet. I'll stay there. I'm not going over here. Simple. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people make that decision. And that's why you see cheap units always available. Because like I said, you guys saw it at Conner Rock. There was one for 280 something for the week. for August, whatever I put in, August 14th to the 21st. That was crazy. That's like 50 some dollars a night. Not even 50 some dollars a night. Like seven, that's like, it was 282, $40 a night. All in. That's insane out there. But I'm probably not going to stay there. And apparently a lot of other people weren't taking that bait either. And so for it to still be available with less than 3 weeks to go. So, and I agree with this 120%. And that's why as a investor, you have to think about all of the intangibles. You have to think about the experience. How easy is it for them to get into your place? Is it coded? What? Front desk? What? It what happens if they come with luggage? What's happens then? Is there a concierge? Is there anybody that can help them? In condos like we have, that's standalone, then you won't have a concierge. So everybody understands, okay, I got to bring my luggage up. But again, it goes along with, they're going to be, is there going to, best host when you're at the properties like in Los Corrales, beach towels, separate from bathroom towels. That goes a long way. Like, you don't know how many times I've been in places that I was like, okay, I'm going to go down to the beach. And then there's only 4 towels in the place, 2 people. So we know 2 is going to be off now if I use 2 regular towels, right? And so now I have another towel. Okay, we got 4. Good. But there's sometimes I stay where they have 2 towels. So my point I'm trying to get is, if somebody's staying 7 days, 5 days, you should have more than 4 towels. First of all, towels for the beach, no problem. It can be 1 or 2 or 4, depending on how many people's in your spot, right? The max. So if you can house 4 people and that's what you're doing, then you should have 8 shower towels, and you should probably have 8 beach towels. Don't leave any stone unturned. That eliminates, hey, can I get in there towels? No, that eliminates all that. Whether there's 2 people or 4 people, you got it covered. You don't want none of this nonsense that a lot of these guys do in the DR. You're by the beach, give them beach towels. Separate than your guest towels and washcloths. Give them the shower gels. Have it built in, then give them some gels. I mean, come on, this is a business, right? Pay the nice organics or no parabens, no whatever. Give them the stuff. Pay the $5 to $10. So every guest has that sweet, nice stuff. So this is the kind of things you do. So people now, when they stay there, they're just like, this was here, this was here. In fact, I'll take it with me. You don't care. You charge them. Who cares? It's built into your price. Your next guests are going to have the same thing. Just go down to the store. It's built in with our price. So what if you spend $25? Seriously? I mean, this is crazy. But anyhow, just letting you guys know, that's what happens. That's how you increase your value and your guest experience, and then in turn your guest starts telling people. Even on Airbnb, post-retirement travel has, I don't think he does the Airbnb yet because he has somebody that does it for him, the management company. But even on the Airbnb VRBOs, I get where people are friends and then they'll open up an account. Their friend will open up an account just so they can book it through Airbnb. I mean, I've had all kind of situations just off word of mouth. Repeat customers. Every year there's an event. like Scottsdale. I have a record of Scottsdale, Arizona. People book a year in advance for the waste management. Get to charge them crazy amounts of money. They still book it a year in advance. One lady broke the record because she's the only one that ever went 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. And I'll just give you some numbers. Let's say it was, I think it was for Thursday, check in Thursday, check out Monday. 2 bedroom unit. 6 times 3 is 18. The Thursday night was four something, 479. So whatever that comes to, 6 times 3 is 18. 5 is 23. So let's call it 2,200. All right. But in 2021 or two, 2021, she paid $399 per night. 2022, she paid $499 per night. 2023, she paid $599 per night for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday night stay, and she always paid 470. Well, maybe not. It would have been uh, 339 ish. But anyway, the price increased every year, and she agreed. And everybody that stays the next year, they always agree on the price increase. They go, "Can I stay another year? I want to book it right now." I say, yeah, but it's going to cost you an extra $200. They always say yes. Because remember, I wasn't the highest to begin with. I'm only in the top three of the highest. I'm usually the third lowest. So they can go see. They already know I wasn't the highest to begin with. So when I say, "Oh yeah, it's going to cost you an extra $200 for next year," they're like, "Okay." Nobody's ever balked on my extra for the next year. Nobody. So that way I know that the price is going to increase. So yesterday's price is not going to be next year's price. There's inflation. So I increased the price. Simple. So those are the things you got to remember. But the reason why it works is because it's high demand. It's waste management open. So that's why they can't get another place. Every place is damn near booked. So that gives us the advantage as the investor. This is why I give caution in DR because we have 125,000 Airbnbs on the island. And I don't know if post retirement travel was here, but he's in Orlando market. And I'll give you guys some crazy numbers. 78 million tourists came last year to Orlando. Guess how many Airbnbs are in Orlando according to the stats? 11,000. That's it. Guess what else? They have the same amount of hotel rooms damn near as Dominican Republic does. So, do you not think there's going to be a problem when you only have 9 million tourists and you have 125,000 Airbnbs, not 11,000, and you have the same amount of hotel rooms as Orlando? You think that's going to be a recipe for some sort of crazy success in the long term? Hell no. That's why we need an increase in tourist numbers year over year. We can't stay stable in the DR. Unless, of course, all of a sudden something happened where they go, well, uh, only these places can have Airbnbs, and it drops way down to like 10,000 Airbnbs on the whole island. Now we got something to be excited about. And who's going to qualify for that? Well, I can tell you if something really crazy happens, The people that's going to qualify are those that's going to be behind gates. That's what I think. If they ever decide to cut down on how many Airbnbs are available on the island, that's why I caution everybody. So if you want to wait and buy something later, I would wait. And if you want to buy something now, so they're building it now for us not to be delivered for 3 or 4 years, that's, in my opinion, the perfect thing that can happen. Because by then, you'll know if there's 14 million tourists coming that year by air, 13 million by air. That's going to matter greatly. There could be and should be, because things are going to change over the next 2 years. Well, 4 years. Got 2 years to rise, a year to 2 years for fall. And that's where your sweet spot is, because then as we come back out, then people will start traveling again. Everything's going to be great. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. 3 hours, 31 minutes on a Friday night. We just got paid. Did we get any notifications? I got none. What's happening? We didn't get no notifications from Yomax. I don't think so. Nope. This is a first. No, nowhere. Even on Mumu, nothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys very much, and thank you so much for being here. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but you're going to have to make the investments. Protect your assets at all costs. Your bank wants your money. Scammers want your money. Businesses, executives are going to try and take your money. Make sure you protect your assets, even from your government. Just saying. And guess what else is going to happen? We'll all be good, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. You just have to make your investments. You got 1 year, 5 months to get it done. And don't fall for the tricks. All-time record high on the stock market is not a good thing unless you're in the stock market. Do not let them gaslight you thinking, oh, you're going to be fine with your job. You're going to be fine with everything else. No, our underlying current is crumbling. Our foundation is crumbling. Layoffs are happening. Manufacturing has been reduced. It's below 50 on the PMI chart. That means manufacturing is contracting. Less production. Not good. People are missing their car payments. Again, that means they're going to miss their credit card payment. That means that they could be missing their mortgage payment. Next. So therefore, you can see the foundation is crumbling. People are losing their jobs. Thousands of people have been laid off between Amazon, Pepsi, UPS. And there's going to be more. And now we have this arrangement where immigration workers are being gone. What about that supply chain? And where are people going to fill that void when they have to get the fruits, vegetables, manufacturing facilities, real estate projects built? Do you see a problem yet? So in the meantime, you should be in the game of earning free money through the stock market, because they're going to keep pumping the stock market. They got more money. Tax cut, tax breaks. Taxpayers are going to have to pay it back, but they got the money. They're going to be using that money to prop up their companies, prop up whatever they got to do, because a lot of the CEOs as well get paid on stock options based on the stock price. So their incentive is to increase the stock price. So again, you can't believe that is a trick. For those investors, we're going to be happy, yes. But you have to make sure you have passive income in case there is any decline in other areas. So that's why you have to be diversified, whether it's real estate, even gold and silver will preserve the amount that you put in, because it's based on the inflationary numbers, but it's not liquid until you go to a dealer, and a dealer has to want to buy it. And you might lose 10 to 15% of the price, because they got to buy it less than what you're going to give it to them for. So keep in mind, that's why you need to diversify, as I mentioned, and it has to be on several fronts, offshore as well, outside of the United States. The same goes vice versa. If you're outside the United States, then you should invest somewhere. It doesn't have to be in the US, but you have to invest in your country plus outside. Get a bank that's independent of your country. You guys will thank me later. Just do it. All right. Next time you leave the country, just saying, a lot of people go on vacation outside the country. Find out if you can open up a bank account. A lot of countries are going to need a passport, your ID, and some money. But other countries like DR is like, where's your 1040 or whatever? Where's your tax returns? I mean, um, so just saying, just get things outside. Be like the rich guys. You're a CEO of your life. Be like the rich guys are. They have offshore corporations, offshore banking. You should too. Thank me later. In case something happens here, you always have refuge somewhere else that you can stay and you have banking. Saying it matters. And you could also have a business there as well. Or you can invest in a business, right? Either way, you have a way to survive in a less volatile scenario potentially. There's a lot to think about, but think about protecting you and your family and making sure you're safe. We're going to run out of here right now, but just make sure you're safe. It's going to be one hell of a nice weekend. Hopefully no, you know, weather travesties, and everything's going to be fine. But make sure you're fine mentally, health wise, relax. Don't be stressed out. I know it's easier said than done, but stress kills. All right. So, whatever you do, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.